and clear.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna assume we're okay.
Okay.
All right. Let him know. Restart the stream. First game of the night will be. I think it's a YouTube video. Wait, what? I don't know. I'm assuming we're back. But the first game's gonna be Juck Fuuki. Well, now I feel because we had a pretty good little intro there.
That was so good.
Yeah.
I'm so upset right now.
Well, okay. So the remix. Welcome to week 3 of Heroes Hype Tempo Storm Series 2. My name is Lauren. It's been my pleasure to be joined by the Foxabots, the Kitsune of Heroes, your community coach, neighborhood friendly column. There you go. There you go.
Hello, everybody.
We have an exciting round of games lined up tonight. 27 teams have registered to join in on this week's festivities, and nobody's more excited than me. I mean, last week's games, to say that they were fantastic would be something of an understatement.
Last week was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, teams showed up in a big way. Flame is Lame versus 101st Umberland Fusiliers. Had a little bit of history and drama there. Legend used to be on 101st, then went over to Flame is Lame, so we got to see those two teams clash. Firm Handshake made it to the finals against Flame is Lame, and we had an incredible best of 3 to decide everything there. That Sky Temple game, a little seesaw battle there at the end. That was insane. But went to game 3. Flame is Lame was able to come out on top.
Honestly, we don't see a lot of game 3s, so that was even more exciting.
Oh yeah, we're back. All right. I wanted to make sure.
Working.
Okay, we're good. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Audio's good to go. Okay. Awesome. But yeah, like, Heroes Hype doesn't always go to best of 3s. So like the fact that it did go to a best of 3 meant that both of the teams are at least on a fairly even footing. So that was really exciting to watch. And both those teams were fantastic. Like, I feel like the overall skill level of this tournament or competition is just raising, and it's really sweet.
You and I were talking about this last week. Like, this is not the tournament to just show up and, see what sticks anymore. Like, you got to put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Because these teams are coming out here to play. But you can find out all about the latest North American amateur action. Head over to heroeshype.com and check the latest news posts. Flag 5 wrote up the latest news update. You want to catch a refresher on all the action you might have missed last week, that's the best place to do it. You'll also get to see some really cool hero trends. What heroes are getting picked a lot, what heroes are starting to fall off. If you want to keep your finger on the pulse of the meta in the North American scene, Flag 5 did an amazing job keeping that going and keeping everyone up to date there. So definitely head out there. You'll learn a lot.
When you say things, I just for some reason, you were talking about keep your pulse on the meta, and I just put my fingers over my vein to check my pulse. No, you're right. It's there. Yep. But wait, last week was okay. Watching the Malthael games was actually insane. I know I've mentioned this a billion times, but he's so hard to cast, I find, because when we were talking about it, everybody gets the Reaper's Mark ticking on them, and then you just don't know how to talk about the fight because so many big things are happening in the fight at once, and it's difficult to talk about. But I'm gonna get better at that. But man, Malthael is so fun to watch.
I definitely agree. I mean, I think he's taken the place of Thrall in terms of damage you don't see coming until you're dead. Because, Thrall just kind of walks up to you, starts auto-attacking you. It's like, you don't see this big flashy thing happening to your face. Your face is just gone.
Yeah.
But with Malthael, it's just like, the boogeyman touches you. And next thing you know, especially past level 16, you're like, I thought I had 40% of my health bar.
But now it's all gone. And it's percent damage, so makes it even worse.
It's definitely a feels bad kind of moment.
It reminds me of Lunara too. You know how sometimes you're fighting a Lunara and she positions really well and you're not really paying much attention to her because she's not doing too much, and then all of a sudden you realize that the Thornwood Vines is hitting multiple people on your team, and then everybody's health is down to 50%, and then you have to run away, and you can't run away from her because she just chases you endlessly. That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll only see more shenanigans from him. He put on, it was a pretty convincing performance in Heroes Hype last week. To say Mountfield's a thing in the meta, to say the absolute least. I'm updating the names now for the teams because I'm good at this and I know what I'm doing.
You are so good at this. Thank you for your hosting skills, my dude.
Yeah, I mean, we called something of an audible with the old hosting routine, but I like doing this. It's fine.
Yeah,
so I got the names all spaced out. Got that all ready to go. I think we are good. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we're in a lobby now. We're gonna see Killer Bunnies going up against Juck Fuuki. Killer Bunnies will be on the left, and they have the portrait synergy. So I'm always pleased to see
so
that.
Good. I've actually got to spend some time with this team in replays, and that's been a lot of fun. So solid team for sure.
Oh wait, Choo Choo just left live. All right, this should be fine. But yeah, while we're getting this, see, Juki's been waiting for this moment. He's in the lobby now, cause I got to hang out with him a lot at this past BlizzCon, and he just gets a real kick out of the idea that I botched the name Juck Fuuki one time.
Oof, I'm so scared of doing it. I'll be completely honest. Yeah,
right. It's not easy. It's not easy. I thought 101st Northumberland Fusiliers was gonna be pretty rough to handle, but that's a whole different thing. Looking at the standings, though, we're in week 3 now. Firm Handshake is actually in the lead with 11 points. 101st Northumberland Fusiliers right behind them with 9. And it's a grab bag from there. New Guys and Flame is Lane both have 8 points. So there's a lot to be had.
I honestly feel like it's going to be like a contest between those 4 teams. I actually think they're on a very similar skill level, and any of those teams can really push those points to a lead over the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited to see, especially I feel like this week has significant implications on those point leads. So let's see if maybe those lower 2 teams can push out over the top 2. Who knows?
Yeah, because I mean, Flame is Lame came out of nowhere. They won last week, and you know, they weren't here at all week 1 because they're that new. And True. I know the Flame is Lame Twitter account super excited to be in a part of week 3. So I'm sure they would love to have another conversation with us at the end of the night because they won this bad boy.
So Lame is lame.
It's a sharp team, man.
I don't have them on Twitter. I gotta add them now.
On the Twitter. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, you can go ahead and do that now at _.
Hey, let's go.
Also follow this young man over here, the Fox of Hots, no less. All right, so someone just joined the lobby that said that they're ready. I believe I am ready as well because I'm good at this and I know what I'm doing.
I love the reassurance every time.
It's for me more than anything else.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. It's all I need in my life.
But without further ado,
we're going to the shrines.
Welcome to Infernal Shrines. Do believe Juck Fuuki on the right. Enjoy the luxuries of first pick, first ban. You and I were talking about the mystery that is Malthael. I think we could see him show up at some point in this draft.
Or not.
Right? Well, he's here in the form of getting banned out immediately. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't sorted out how to play against him just yet, and you have other things in mind, take him off the board. I get it.
And he's just so intrinsically powerful. Like, he remember last week when we saw him getting CC'd by like 4 different targets, and he still lived just because he popped his heroic and mashed his Q button. He's just so powerful right now.
He is, in fact, forever. The Vala ban is something of curious point for me. I thought we'd see Uther or Nubreg. That's been the current trend. When you take Vala off the board, you're like, we don't want someone who can just out mechanically skill us and hang out on the perimeter or dive in at the right time and get those takedowns. We want you to play us a little more straight up, but Genji.
See, I like this because Killer Bunnies ban off the Vala, and even though it's not something you see typically, it means that they're just saying we don't want to deal with the Uther Vala Ariel because Juck Fuuki has the first pick, right? They can pick up those picks in the first 1-3. So Uther and Anub'arak over to Killer Bunnies, fine. That's perfect. But now we're going to see something that isn't just like Uther, Ariel, Vala, and like a Malthael comp on the other side. So this might just... I like this. This is a good start. We're going to see something a little bit different from what we're used to. Just because pretty much there's going to be no Ariel value, unless there's a Gul'dan picked up. But we'll have to see.
Was this the long con from Killer Bunnies? Were they like, we'll ban Vala, they'll first pick Genji, and then we'll immediately take counters to the linchpin of their shenanigans and offense? If that was a predicted gesture, it's almost like they got coached by the Kitsune heroes.
Woo, let's go. I actually like that a lot. Now, being Juck Fuuki, you've got your Genji. What are you looking for? Are they looking to pick up a warrior here? Probably. I'm not even sure if they pick up a support, just considering how there's still so many good ones available. But picking up Rhaegar wouldn't be a bad thing either. Oh, interesting.
Lunara is a really strong. Ooh.
All right, there's no way we would have guessed that one.
Yeah, that's what I said. This isn't PTR just yet. When you pick up Zul, you're bringing a lot of wave clear and siege pressure to the table. I'd imagine we would see him not make an appearance to the first Punisher phase. He splits off, soaks on the side. But yeah, I was thinking Ariel Lunara, because Lunara in general is a very strong counter to Uther's, longer cooldowns, solo target style healing. And also it's a really strong hope generator for Ariel. They leave themselves in a position where they could be short on some kind of sustain, depending on how this next ban phase goes.
Yeah, like honestly, this whole Zul Stitches thing throws a wrench into the works. Like, is a Juck Fuuki looking at not even contesting the first shrine? Like, so far they don't have a composition to do so. Well, I guess Stitches is really good, but Genji doesn't bring a whole lot to the shrine aside from getting kills, obviously. But if Zul is left uncontested on 2 lanes while people focus on the shrine, like that's going to give them almost insurmountable pressure during that early game, and maybe even amount to being up in experience after the first shrine, because if they're able to defend the Punisher well.
Yeah, I mean, you show your cards a little early when you pick up Zul at this point. Yeah. In the current meta, I don't think you needed to take him in your 2-3 rotation. It makes me think that maybe Juck Fuuki have some even more crazier things up their sleeve later on. We see the Greymane get banned out, but with Abathur taken off the board, no dueling Ganjos with the clone. Too bad.
Now, what are they going to draft now? Like, Vala's gone, Greymane's gone, Malthael's gone, Genji's already picked up for Juck Fuuki. So like, what's left? They could actually, Killer Bunnies can go with a Cassia comp. They might even look at something like Zarya. I know they've played that in the past. I'm not sure if that's something that they're still comfortable with, but they can also elect to go for another warrior here as well. I would anticipate the single support though, and Gul'dan is also available too. So there's the dive from Genji, but I think Gul'dan would be pretty safe considering the circumstance.
Kyle, I like to venture off into the unknown a little bit. I tend to veer off meta, but I would go Rhaegar, Lunara.
Oh, the Diva, more shrine control.
I was wondering if we'd see Diva tonight. It definitely seems like Killer Bunnies have invested themselves in the shrine control. They're looking to do a good amount of damage over the objective and play the map. Whereas, at least on paper, Juck Fuuki looks to have other things in mind. This last 4 or 5 rotation for them will put all their cards on the table. Gul'dan is already taken out. That takes some of the steam out of a potential Ariel snap up. But again, I would say Lunara.
You want the Lunara, eh?
I want the Lunara.
So like a Lunara with Rhaegar? Is that what you're thinking?
It wouldn't... I mean... I would go Ariel Lunara. Ariel Lunara works here.
Okay, yeah, that could work. See, like, I feel like they're gonna need. I guess maybe. Wait, are they using Stitches Hook plus Bone Prison? Is that like their combo? I'm trying to figure out how the Zul fits in this because they have Genji, who's a duelist, and Stitches, who's looking at grouping against their opponents too to look for picks. But like, the Zul just doesn't make sense here unless they group it with. Okay, so I was gonna say a mage like Kael'thas and Brightwing Free Globe. This is an odd comp from Juck Fuuki, but they have tools to be successful. Like, they've got the Zul for double soak. They have Brightwing, obviously, for her global pressure and just how strong she is if her heroes are able to group up. But at the same time, like, Killer Bunny's draft is... the diva doesn't work for me right now. Like, I'm just not sure how she's going to gain value, because she's also a dive hero, right? She needs to dive onto the backline as well. You know, Anubarak does that too, but the Gul'dan seems like he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, Rhaegar. There's the Rhaegar that you wanted. These are so interesting. I think they're a little wild, but I like this. First game of the night.
I mean, we are starting the evening off in the most curious of manners. I didn't think we'd see a draft like this from either one of these teams. I mean, you start out with something as traditional these days as Uther and Anubarak. You're pretty much rooted in something of a standard order, but the Gul'dan, Diva, Rhaegar, you know, I posed the Rhaegar, so I definitely like Uther Rhaegar here.
Yeah.
But the Brightwing, I don't know about that Brightwing.
Not gonna monkey around with that draft.
Oh, Colin.
You can't read draft. Or chat. I just looked over and somebody said bamboozled, and I just lost it. It's so good.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah. I actually.
Who do you think got the stronger comp?
Exactly, and I was just about to say, I think Juck Fuuki's draft is scarier, but I think that Killer Bunnies has. No, I actually just think it's scarier. They have the tools to work in a team fight, and they also have global pressure, and they have like, I guess, lane advantage too. So I would have to say Juck Fuuki, even though both of them are honestly just really weird. I would have to say Juck Fuuki's is just a little bit stronger. The double support, there's nothing to really double support, right? Aside from Gul'dan, but Gul'dan has some of the best sustain in the game. So I'm not sure. Maybe they're just looking to use Rhaegar as kind of like a shrine clear or a duelist, but we'll have to see. So how about you? Which one do you think?
Well, I mean, at first, Juck Fuuki had my curiosity. Now they have my attention. This composition. But this is the first game of the night. I hope you guys are all excited. As I am. Over on the left side, we're going to have the Killer Bunnies. It's going to be Jewel Queen playing Uther. Let the Furious is on Rhaegar. Gul'dan being played by Arrow. Sky Bunnies on Diva. And Zolcan rounded out on Anubarak.
And on the right in red is Juck Fuuki. We got Juki playing that Genji. Itobi on Brightwing. Ishbu playing the Stitches. Evandrind on Kael'thas. And Kevin playing the Zool.
Heading on out towards mid, all 5 members of Juck Fuuki.
We got the backlash too on Zool. They're looking to kill. There's Ishbu with the root. No follow-up there with the Bone Prison, so just a little bit of damage traded.
Kevin tries to get the root, lands that onto last
auto. Yeah, last bit of autos there from the Genji. Secures the first kill of the game, going over to Juck Fuuki.
Juki with the parting gift, netting the first takedown 30 seconds into the first game of the night.
Another hook into the laps. Okay, there goes the Gul'dan. See, like, that's pretty scary, right? The pick potential from Juck Fuuki is actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah, the unorthodox nature of this composition. If you're a Killer Bunnies, you look at this and you're like, I mean, how do we really engage into this? There's just a lot of wonky things that don't really fit the standard mold, but the hook and the gravity lapse is going to raise the brow of the Killer Bunnies for certain. No takedown, however.
I love it. There's hook into gravity lapse, and then the Brightwing just drops the Q, and she's like, I'm helping, I swear. It does pretty good damage, but it's just so funny to see, because usually you see it with like a Malfurion, like root follow-up or something like that, but it's adorable seeing it come from the Brightwing. We see Genji now rotating to top lane, has eyes on Diva, jumping over the wall there, trying to trigger the mech, but almost get quite.
Yeah, Sky Bunny's going to want to hang on to that one for the first objective. You don't want to have that blown up on you at an inopportune time. 4 members of Killer Bunnies hanging out in the bot lane. Itobi, the support, going to try to slow down the advance for the moment. Ishbu rotating around, looking to see who they can grab. But with only Kael'thas around on the Happy Cloud, no less. I don't think they're going to try to get too much at it.
Yeah, Brightwing sitting on the bottom for Juck Fuuki as well. Itobi on the Brightwing, getting that value from the split push. Actually, the dive coming in from Killer Bunnies. They're looking to kill this Brightwing, and they actually might be able to get it. The channel for the teleport coming in. Nice face shift from Itobi, and oh my gosh, the passive proc right at the last second to secure the escape. So nice job by Brightwing.
You want to talk about a thin margin, Kala? Itobi had 11 health when they teleported up top. that's about as thin as it gets.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, that's really bad for Killer Bunnies because they committed 4 members down bottom to try to get a kill and then push that wall, and they weren't able to get it. So now we actually see a full level advantage going over to Juck Fuuki for that. And Zool is still just doing his work in mid and bottom. So, and of course, the defender advantage is going to Juck Fuuki. But both these teams now kind of look into position, and maybe they're taking a fight.
Yeah, I mean, you have the numbers, why not? But then the hook goes in. Ishbu almost sets up to take down a Nubarak. They're able to burrow themselves out of harm's way. Both teams are now even on defenders. But again, this whole time, Zool's has been hanging down in the bot lane. But the stun into the polymorph is going to buy enough time to kill the mech before it even goes off. Value for D.Va out the window.
I mean, and that's 3 creep waves lost from Killer Bunnies, and now they're losing their mid wall because of it as well. Juck Fuuki are doing a fantastic job at pressuring like every single possible thing on the map right now, and it's actually just unbearable for Killer Bunnies.
The lack of burst damage is really hurting them right now. It's allowing Brightwing to sustain this 4v5. Genji is going to go down. Juki does get rocked for their trouble. Arcane Punish is picked up as well. And Killer Bunnies, they need to get a good amount of value out of this so they only even experience it.
It is an Arcane Punisher, so that's fantastic for Killer Bunnies, but they really do have to pull the trigger on this one. They have to close a 1.5 level deficit because that's exactly what Juck Fuuki got off that first Shrine phase. So they really have to, like I said, pull the trigger on this one and see what they can get.
They don't get too much, though, unfortunately enough for them. They're down a level and some change, as well as a talent here now. Kevin has just been playing this accordion this whole time down here. Sky Bunny does finally rotate down to address this. Rhaegar's down the bottom, catch up on Soak as well. But this far behind Kalo, Killer Bunnies have to play it real slow.
And this is super difficult if you're in the position of Killer Bunnies because, like, you know, they have their Rhaegar down bottom right now just, like, on damage control, trying to clear out these waves. And, you know, Rhaegar is even taking a lot of damage from the Zool. The rotation from Juck Fuuki coming down, just looking to get a little bit more harass onto the Rhaegar. And now they're even invading and taking away the Khazra camp from Killer Bunnies. So lots of pressure everywhere from Juck Fuuki and no response really from Killer Bunnies. Perhaps they're just looking at getting their level 7 and then they're going to look for a fight, but they need to do something soon.
Yeah, because, I mean, Juck Fuuki, it seems like they got 6 people on the map with the macro pressure they've been managed to establish. But Eros is going to get jumped on by Juki. Genji makes their appearance, and he casually hops over the wall and tips his hat goodbye. 3rd takedown for Juck Fuuki.
Milady. Yeah.
Milady.
Yeah. And at this point now, this is a good time for Killer Bunnies to force a fight. They've got Guardian of Ancient Kings available, you know, to try to minimize that damage from the Kael'thas, as well as the... you know, the CC from Zool and Brightwing. So, like, they need to pick a fight now before Juck Fuuki gets level 10, and then they just start controlling this game to a point where there's just nothing that Killer Bunnies can do, because we're seeing this experience just slip further and further away.
Yeah, because at this rate, heroics are going to be on the table for Juck Fuuki, and level 10 is nowhere in sight. I mean, they're just enjoying level 7 right now. The polymorph goes in, Zolcan the target, Ishbu. He's able to sustain himself, takes a bite out of Alet the Furious. This is a scary moment, though, for the Killer Bunnies. They are getting smothered right now, Kyle.
Absolutely, and the Shrine is spawning mid-top now, so I would expect to see Juck Fuuki go and push their advantage up there now, garner themselves a free Punisher. And then, of course, it's going to be pushing mid lane off of that. And if you look at mid lane, it's actually really, really low on the side of Killer Bunnies. So that's going to be threatening the keep wall if Killer Bunnies aren't able to close this experience advantage. But Juck Fuuki actually decides to stay bottom, take out this fort. I guess why not, right? You have the advantage. Juki jumping in, just getting a little bit of harass going, and then they just leave. So yeah, now they're going to be taking the Shrine. So
Juki has his feet up on the Killer Bunnies coffee table. The E-Bros are raiding the fridge. I mean, they are just making themselves absolutely at home on the front doorstep of Killer Bunnies. And without their heroics, they are in no position to do anything about it. Ishbu and Evadrinde are going to start up the next Punisher phase. They are in control right now.
Absolutely. All of the skeletal defenders now going over to the side of Juck Fuuki. The Punisher is going to come in before level 10 gets hit for Killer Bunnies. So actually, E-Kevin gets jumped on the Zool here. The Face Shift comes in, and then the Emerald Dream to save the Zool from the 4-man gank. That was a fantastic play by Brightwing. Or Emerald Wind, sorry. Holy moly.
E-Broed. I mean, E-Toby is one of the top supports in this region. Was the support for UTA, who won Heroes of the Dorm this year, and it's for plays exactly like that. These are 2 players who know their limits. The hook goes in, the polymorph, the root's going to follow up. Rhaegar, the dog gets punted.
Oh, no.
Yipe, yipe.
Yeah, and now this this Punisher is finally going to go over to Juck Fuuki. They're deciding to put a little bit more of their human resources onto it to try to get these skeletal defenders as fast as they can. Level 10's available for Killer Bunnies. Pretty much standard everything across the board except for Divine Storm. Usually you see the shield, but of course, it's a double support setup, so why not run the Storm? Now they actually have a little bit more blow-up potential, so we'll see if Killer Bunnies are able to pull the trigger and make use of that.
Yeah, you make a great point there. I feel like Divine Storm was absolutely the heroic to go with. They need the added lockdown to buy time for Gul'dan to get these takedowns. Without any inherent burst damage, they're going to struggle otherwise. The Impale goes in, Ishbu misses the hook for the moment. Middle force going to go down, and just like you said, Kala, middle keep wall in jeopardy.
Yeah, and now it is forcing onto the keep wall. At this point, Juck Fuuki's probably just looking at taking out this wall. Maybe if they can land a good hook, they'll be able to force a fight off of it. But you can see they send Zool top. They're not looking for anything too crazy here. They just want a little bit more structure advantage. They have the 13-10, so if Killer Bunnies force a fight here, this is the fight for actually Juck Fuuki.
Well, I feel like Killer Bunnies need to try to make something happen off this. The Emerald Wind is actually going to knock the bomb towards Kael'thas. He's like, hey, wait, guys. Zolcan's low enough. Gravity Lapse seals his fate. A Nubrak goes down. Chain bombs are a thing, so are cooldown resets. Juki's going off.
Honestly, that Divine Storm was actually perfect. Like, it stunned Genji in the most vulnerable position possible, but the damage for Killer Bunnies just wasn't there. And keep in mind, Haloran, this was a 4v5.
What's really tough about this entire thing, and yeah, 4v5 is rough. Not only is it a 4v5, but they have solo Brightwing for support who took Emerald Wind. So there's no response to burst damage whatsoever. It's really speaking to the holes in the composition for Killer Bunnies. They just seemingly have no kill pressure.
You're absolutely right. So, like, as you were saying, Killer Bunnies, they needed to force something there. That was pretty much the best fight that they were going to get. Now we see them top lane. They know that they have to force something so that they can take other structures off the map and try to garner a little bit more experience from the side of Juck Fuuki. Like, they have to close up this experience gap. At this point now, if you're Killer Bunnies, you need to try to 3-soak these lanes, basically give up every single camp on the map, and try to hit 13 before your opponents hit 16, and just, you can't die at this point. Stay positive, don't die. That's like what you have to do if you're Killer Bunnies. You got to get to 13 to 15.5. That's the best fight they're going to get.
Staying positive is going to be a pretty tall order with the way this game's been going so far. Juck Fuuki firmly in the driver's seat. Sky Bunny's going to get knocked out of the mech, not able to drop the bomb. Probably wanted to save that for the next objective, all told. But level 16 is around the corner for Juck Fuuki. Level 13 is not even... It's kind of on the horizon for Killer Bunnies. It's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, that condition I just highlighted is just not a possibility at this point. Juck Fuuki's just strangulating Killer Bunnies. Like, they're not able to get any soak anywhere. Like, this is actually just so scary if you're Killer Bunnies. They need to get that 13. Now the best possible fight they're going to get is a 13 to 16. The hook lands onto Jewel Queen. This Divine Storm comes out, but then the Gravity Lapse was there to just pick onto the Uther. And now Juck Fuuki have their eyes set on this mid keep.
And Let the Furious was like, sorry, man, I don't have Ancestral Healing. Can't come to the phone right now. There's another hook. The Apocalypse, or the Polymorph goes in. Horrify for the disengage. KT potentially caught for it, but Diva gets yanked off the kitchen table. Let the Furious pulled again by another Stitches hook. Juki closes him out. There's the Dragon Blade going into town. The Cocoons only stop the advance for a moment. This is pretty decisive so far.
It is very, very scary indeed. At this point, okay, Juck Fuuki need to just go top lane. I'm not sure why they're sitting mid like this, because they have an end condition right now. They have their level 16. They're looking at this mid keep just to get a keep, which I think is actually a little bit of a macro misplay. If they go up top, force that wave in and take the top wall, then just go back, grab the Punisher, force a fight with Punisher on keep, and they're going to win it no matter what. Like,
I'm liking to agree as far as min-max goes, but what it seems to me, Kala, is that we're seeing a bit of, we're seeing a bit of confidence and bravado out of the red team. They just want to sit here and bare knuckle box. But look at this. It was all Jazz Hands. Kevin casually has been hanging down here in the bot lane, helps himself to the bottom keep, and now he's trying to tip his hat and get out of there. I think he's just accepting fate. Yeah, he's just like, go ahead and kill me. Worth.
Good night, sweet world. There goes the Zool. Yeah. So, they Juck Fuuki ends up getting 2 keeps off of that, and then they rotate up. They're looking to take this Punisher and probably end the game with it. They definitely aren't trying to end the game in any sort of convincing fashion in terms of macro. Like you highlighted it exactly. They're just kind of flexing on their opponents at this point. They have such a lead, like taking these fights it's kind of fun to do, but it is also dangerous, right? Because it gives your opponents an option at getting back into the game.
They don't want to find out the hard way that this game is rated 6.5 out of 10. They're definitely keeping their guard down, and the Killer Bunnies aren't exactly slouches. So if they find an opportunity, I feel like the lack of kill pressure has really stalled their overall advance. But if they get the right opportunity in this 4v5, we could see an interesting swing. But the Flame Strike goes in. That's going to miss. Jewel Queen out on the perimeter. Could be a potential target for Juki. There's the Phoenix going in. Ishbu looking for a hook. You know he is. Sky Bunny trying to get these defenders. But with only 7 left for Juck Fuuki, I think this is going to be another Punisher their way.
Yeah, Killer Bunnies needed to force the fight a little bit earlier. The Divine Storm goes out onto Kale Thoss, but not enough damage to finish him off. There goes the Bunny Hop as well onto the backline, but so much damage from Living Bomb coming out and spreading onto Killer Bunnies with the Dragon Blade coming out as well. That's 1 kill, 2 kills over for the side of Juck Fuuki, and now it just looks like they're cleaning up this.
But hey, man, they got Kale Thoss.
Good.
2 for 1, though. Let the Fury's going to try to get out of there. Juki says not so
Kevin's
much. Kevin, low on health. Toby doing everything he can. I can save you, bro. And he comes through in the clutch. Are you kidding? Gets out of there. There's the root for the disengage. And Nubrak is going to find himself on the front of the windshield. And with only Sky Bunny left, this could very well and should be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, at this point, Punisher going over to Juck Fuuki. Both of these keeps, or the catapult lanes pushing in. Like, this is almost... You can't really defend against this if you're Killer Bunnies, but if they actually manage to spawn in a timely fashion here, they might get one more fight out, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
It's going to take an Olympic effort if they're going to try to keep this game going. They don't have any heroics, really. I mean, Divine Storm should be up by the time the principal elements come into play. Perhaps Horrify as well, but no Ancestral Healing. Bunny Hop has gotten -4 value this entire game, so I don't even know if that cooldown matters. There's the hook for the old friendly yank on Toby to get Brightwing out of there. There's the Cocoon. Kevin gonna break Juki out of there. Genji could look to go off. Has Dragon Blade right meow. Let's see if he breaks that out.
Yeah, so everybody on the side of Killer Bunnies grouping up. Genji is jumping in, looking at the Diva. The Emerald Wind comes out, but no kills off of it. A whole bunch of health bars dropping down. Now Diva also on the backside, super low, but manages to jump back in the mech. The Punisher jumps in onto Sky Bunny as well, and and everybody's going down, and same with the core. So GG's coming out. Good game. Interesting game, actually. 4-level lead for Juck Fuuki.
You know, Carla, I wasn't entirely sure how that game was going to go. But I did not account for the lack of lethality on the side of Killer Bunnies. I mean, it felt like they were out there swinging a soaked pool noodle with the lack of damage that they had. It just... When you are not able to get a kill in a 5v4 against a solo support Brightwing that took Emerald Wind, you are short on damage.
I mean, when we saw the ban on Ariel, I actually, in hindsight, it feels like the ban on Ariel was a ban against themselves, because they left themselves with basically just Gul'dan and Cassia, right? Those were the 2 like hyper carries in that comp available, right? And they ended up choosing the Gul'dan, but Gul'dan's not going to kill that draft, unfortunately. There's just no way that one happens. But both teams played really well. I feel like the biggest story of that game was just Zool being completely uncontested. Like, we saw a 2-level lead off the first shrine.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, they needed to commit Rhaegar to being the foil for his push. Rhaegar, if played to the best of his ability offensively, is pretty much a melee assassin. Like, you put the totem down, you get the double lightning bond, and he starts to hurt quite a bit. But he just wasn't used in that capacity. It was tough all the way around. We've heard from our good old-fashioned... Looks like we'll be following Juck Fuuki. They'll be going up against Anhedonia. I was curious to see...
Juck Fuuki versus Anhedonia?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, we got another good game lined up. We've seen, Hold It Down, Crow and McIntyre's team. Flame is Lame has some notable figures as well. I was really curious to see where the E-Bros were going to show up.
Yeah, me too.
They're here now, and they haven't lost a step.
So the only thing I have to say about that is the fact that they played well, like mechanically sound. Like we saw, Brightwing save his brother, and what was it? There was one other time. It was insane. Like, it was just like, basically, like, he timed it perfectly and saved a bunch of heroes anyways. So he played really well, but the macro just wasn't there, right? It was either they were toying with their opponents completely, or they just weren't exactly sure what to do. I think it's more of toying with their opponents because they had such a substantial lead. But if they expect to win Heroes Hype, they gotta definitely close out games way faster than that if they have a lead.
Well, I mean, you and I were talking about this last week. Heroes Hype is not the place to just show up and start yucking it up. I mean, a team's gonna come along. I think you just have to show up, put your best foot forward. If you can end the game, go ahead and end it. And I mean, you want to sharpen that saw anyway. You want to make sure, you know, from a macro shot calling standpoint, your strategist for your team, or however you guys make decisions, knows, hey, we can go in the game right now, so let's not just play around here. You're not getting experience off of getting that third keep in the top lane. So why not?
Also, call me crazy, but if you go into a game and you 4-level your opponents just because you're team fighting them over and over and beating them on a mechanical level, I'm not impressed by that. Like, I'm not at all. Like, that just means that you're mechanically a better player. But if you're, like, macro-wise a better team and you can basically win with a 4-level advantage by out-rotating your opponents, I look at that and I'm like, holy cow, this team has so much potential. Because being able to manipulate an entire team and move them around the map and make smart calls like that means that you have so much more longevity as a team. Like, that impresses the absolute heck out of me. Fnatic's one of those teams. Like, when we scrim them in Europe, their knowledge of the game is just absolutely insane. And just the way that Quacknick can control his roster is, bar none, like the best I've ever seen in this game. And it's just so impressive. And that's the kind of stuff that I like to see the most. So I just figured I'd drop that.
You make an excellent point, because I mean, mechanical skill is great, obviously. It's really flashy. You jump on a hero like Genji, you jump in, you start darting all over people's faces, getting takedowns. It's super flashy. It's cool.
And it's fun to watch.
It's fun, and it's fun to watch. And we definitely enjoy that. But there's something to be said for having brains and strategy, because sooner or later you're going to come across a team that's evenly matched to you in technical ability. It's only a matter of time. Other teams are putting in just as much time and effort as anyone else. So when you do come across those teams that can match you on the technical ability, strategy and macro play is where you start to shine. So if you're not actively building that up, you could have a pretty rough go at things once it starts to get real.
It's very true.
Hi, JL.
J-Ho, my dude. Him and I hung out a whole bunch at Mid-Season Brawl, so nice to see you. Hey, man.
He's a swell guy. He's a swell
he really
guy.
Is. He gave me a pep talk at one point, and it was actually just so good. It should have been in, like, the classic. You know, if you're like, yo, you know that classic, like, football movie where there's the coach montage? That should have been it, but, like, for esports. Because, like, he was, I don't know, he was giving me a pep talk because I was kind of feeling down about my team's performance and stuff like that. And he's just like, he brought out the bike pump and he plugged it into me, and he's pumping my tires the whole time. I'm like, yes, JM, preach.
You're like, and who's playing the trumpet in the background? Like the uplifting, like.
There's Caldor right beside me.
Oh. Yeah. Nailed it.
He actually had a fidget spinner just spinning it the whole time.
Oh, no.
I'm not even joking. That actually happened. But yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But all right, we're waiting on an admin to get this next game set up. Let's take a look at the bracket while we're getting everything ready. See where everyone else is at. Because we had some buys. Firm Handshake, they had a buy. They're going to be taking on Fratris. I don't think I've seen that team before. East Coast Revolver is a team we've seen a number of times now, a mainstay here. We'll be playing YDB, as far as I know. It's a new team as well. I mean, we're seeing a lot of team names and stuff that we just haven't seen before, and that's amazing.
That's good.
We want fresh blood. We want new faces in here. So show up, have a good time. The Butcher, Kyle's the Butcher. There is a team Bamboozled.
Oof, Bamboozled.
Pretty sure, yeah, I know that team. Flexing Noobs, Anhedonia, Juck, Fuuki. That's who we'll be going against. That's who we'll be following. The new guys that were in the finals for Series 1 will be taking on, who is this team? The new guys versus who? Who is this team? No spaces.
Good question. I'm not sure.
TQ will be taking on Slapithers. Flame is lame. Enjoyed a bye the first round. They'll be now facing Archetype. Seventh Empire had a bye as well. Looks like we're still waiting to see the victors between No Tears Only Dreams. Tears like talent tier, not like.
Oh, okay. Not crying tears.
Right. Going up against Rip the Dream. So there may be some actual tears there, one way or the other.
Good.
Good. Oh, tears.
You said I'm the butcher, man. Yeah.
But yeah, these games, we are in for an incredible night. We have over 100 viewers in the chat already. We're so glad to have you here. If you have not yet added a free $1 to the prize pool, head over to the Matcherino link. One of our lovely admins will be glad to post the link there. You type in HHTempo2 and add $1 to the prize pool. Our goal for the evening is to get to $400. I think we can do it.
I think we can definitely do it. We're, what, $99 away from it?
Yeah, not too bad.
What is that, 99 people just donating $1? I also have one coaching session left available on the Matcherino website, so check it out. I promise it'll be worth it. Because
if you want to get coached by the Fox of Fox, get some, you know, I'm not. one of the sharpest minds in the North American scene. Kyle has not only been a good friend of mine, but he's an amazing coach and strategist. Get involved.
Thank you, sir.
We also have a couple of Uniplay sessions available, I do believe. Some Salt Shakers, some Tempo Storm swag, if you want to represent one of the coolest organizations in the region. On the planet.
On the planet.
Head on over. But let's see here. Anhedonia, they've banned Forehead Junction. You know, it's been a while since we've casted Forehead Junction. I kind of miss it.
I never get to see it, and I love that map so much. Call me crazy, but
I kind of miss it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I love playing it in Hero League. I know I'm like the 1%, but yeah, I love it. It's such a good map. It allows me to just pick Illidan, take all the camps, and then just win every game. You know?
I mean, we've been talking up the idea of strategy, shot calling, and macro play. Warhead Junction is definitely one of those maps where it's like, if you're in a best of 3, and you're going against a team that has demonstrated stronger technical ability than yourself, but you have a really strong and sound shot calling system, Warhead Junction, I feel, are one of the maps where you can take an enemy team off guard and get the upper hand there. But it looks like
really is.
Juck Fuuki has picked Battlefield of Eternity.
Oh, nice.
So Anhedonia will have first pick, first ban. After a performance like what we just saw, if I'm on the side of Juck Fuuki, I'm not too concerned about giving up first pick.
No, definitely not. You know, and the fact that they picked this map means that they have a second pick draft probably prepared for it, if, you know, that's the kind of level of preparation they're bringing to this tournament. So yeah, that's what I would expect from them. But yeah, you know, second pick on BOE, not the worst case in Ontario. So I'm excited to see what they bring out. You want to know what we haven't really seen, and I really want to see more of? Abathur, man.
You're just trying to slide on by. Now I'm still back here at worst case on Ontario. You tried to drop it.
I tried to slip in the.
You're right. You tried to slide in there and go, but I'm here.
All right. I'll get you with one of them one of these days.
And then it'll be like exactly 37 seconds afterwards, where I'll be like, "Did you?"
The most
like
moments in the stream.
Yeah. It'll happen. We have the lobby now, joining in on our good old fashioned argue, because Kyle, you know, they just don't make him like that anymore.
They really don't. He's a fantastic guy. Everybody at Heroes Hype are fantastic, by the way. Thank you all for all your hard work.
Agree. We're in the lobby now. Looks like Juck Fuuki will be on the left side, so let me go ahead and update that, because I'm good at this and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you do. But seriously, why don't we ever get to see Abathur in Heroes Hype? Can you tell me why?
Well, he's one of those high risk, high reward kind of heroes, I feel. If you have an Abathur that flounders and flops and nets you no value, you are actually just down a body. And that feels pretty bad. I mean, I'm just being real.
Okay.
So I think a lot of teams just don't want to take that risk, but fortune does favor the bold.
I agree.
Sometimes you just got to go for it.
I think so. Especially on this map, man. Abathur's so strong. You ban Dahaka, and I think if you're in something like Heroes Hype, you can totally get away with banning Dahaka and getting Abathur even off the second ban. I actually think that's possible. But yeah.
All right, good. Because I'm looking in the lobby now. All right. Yeah. They're not moving. They're locked in. Juck Fuuki's on the left.
Perfect.
100%. I'm making that Kurt Russell executive decision.
Wait, this is perfect. Hey, if either of these teams hear me right now, play Abathur. There we go. I just
Oh my God.
Inserted. I want to see him so bad. I love Abathur, and I never get to cast him. He's so fun.
Oh snap! Zabatak Kwanzaa. I know these guys.
Yep.
I know these guys.
I've never seen Mabalzis before. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Oh gosh. The player.
You know, I read the
gonna stop
name.
talking for a second.
I read the name. So there's a player on the side of Anhedonia. Mabalsies. Mabalsies.
Oh, I'm 4. Okay, we're all ready to go. BOE.
I believe so. Ready here. Wait. Let me make sure I got the name spaced out correctly.
Okay.
All right. I think we're good. I think we're good. Ready here, Captain.
BOE.
Welcome to Battlefield of Eternity.
And we're probably just gonna see it. I think like this is probably one of Malthael's best maps. Like honestly, he does so much damage to the Immortals. It's insane. I would expect him to be first banned by one of these teams. If not, probably the Uther as well, even though Guardian of Ancient Kings did see the nerf down from 75% to 50%. You now take twice the amount of damage that you used to under stuns. I still think that those are worth bans.
I'm looking over at the chat. Yeah, Drink Around, I've definitely seen those. JL said, I want to play Hero Type one day. Sylvzag, Abathur in all my games. You forgot the Butcher. Points off.
Oh gosh.
Let's see here. First pick, first ban for Anhedonia. Now, Kwanzaa and Zabatak, these guys definitely know how to play the video game. They made it to the Heroic 4. Malthael is going to be the ban. I think the word's out, Kyler. I don't know if we're going to see Malthael make it through the first round.
Nope, but we will see Genji come in again if that's Uther come in if that's the Genji ban. Again, probably going to see Uther and Nubarak come in on these first picks for these players.
If I'm on the side of Anhedonia, I'm sooner prioritizing a Nubarak over Uther.
Yeah, me too.
The 75 to 50 armor, it hasn't dropped them out of the meta or necessarily priority, but it's not the insurmountable juggernaut that it used to be.
And Anubarak's also just so good on this map because as soon as you press up to like the 50% mark in the middle of the jungle, like you could just hit your W and one of your locusts just walks and it gives you vision, and it's just that part of his kit alone is like it just gains so much value on this map. So I like the Anubarak first pick. I think that's a really safe pick and smart pick for Anhedonia. You
make a really good point, because one thing that I think a lot of people don't really properly assess as far as value goes for Anubarak is his ability to enable siege, because he steps in there, he drops some beetles down, and that's going to buy your team time to wail on a fort for free.
Yep.
And that's something that I think it's overlooked pretty often.
Yep, I've actually seen teams do this in scrims where they pick a Nubarak and this is on a Tomb of the Spider Queen, and actually the Varian Arthas pickups. That's not what I expected from Juck Fuuki. So very interesting picks. But a Nubarak on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and you just push up so far into your opponents, and you just basically spam your abilities and allow your locusts to just like walk forward or your beetles to walk forward and just soak a whole bunch of tower shots, and it's actually really, really effective. It's hard to deal with.
If I'm the Anubarak player on Anhedonia, I'm a little bit like ruh-roh right now.
Yeah.
Because Kala, picture a world. Anubarak burrows in. He's looking to get the party started. Why not? He's the tank. He likes to engage. He dives in there. He gets taunted. He gets rooted. He gets deleted.
Yep.
It could happen.
I want to see Juck Fuuki. Okay, if Greymane gets past the banning phase, which I wouldn't assume he would at this point, seeing that variant, because variant plus Greymane is just absolutely insane. The taunt plus Curse Bullet combo is just so much power in one combination. And if we do see that get through bans, I would love to see Juck Fuuki pick it up. Anhedonia lock in the Li Ming and Uther. Li Ming is a like a natural counter to Anubarak. I know people say that she's not, but the fact that her laser like almost instantly destroys Cocoon makes Anubarak's level 10 pretty useless, actually. Because I would say that objectively the Cocoon gains more value in a team fight than a laser. So using your laser to destroy one of the highest impact heroics in the game is actually really, really good. So I like the fact that they picked up the Li Ming so that they don't have to ban it.
Not only that, but the short cooldown on the magic missiles tends to knock Nerubian armor out before it really gets any value. It's just like, I'll poke you once, and by the time my magic missile comes back, you're just like a squishy warrior, and I hope you didn't already dive in, because it very well could be your face. So I definitely see that. And Li Ming's seen a lot of prominence and rise, especially on this battleground.
Yes.
Anytime there's a stall tactic used, her ability to just poke and throw in magic missiles can really start to add up.
Yeah, exactly. Not even talking about this map in specific, so you're absolutely right. But Juck Fuuki actually decides to ban off the Greymane instead of picking it. It's pretty interesting to me. I wonder why they would do that. I guess just, you know, Greymane with a Divine Shield on this map in particular, they didn't want to let that through, and they definitely didn't plan on picking it up in their 3-4, so...
Right.
Greymane banned off for Juck Fuuki. Now, what is your response to that? You've got Li Ming, Uther, and Anubarak. I don't know. Anhedonia could look at taking a support off the table, or perhaps a mage to follow up with some of that hard CC that Varian and Arthas provide.
The Greymane ban is a pretty big surprise to me, Colin. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, after we saw the performance of Juki's Genji, I thought he might enjoy a hero that has a lot of playmaking potential like Greymane. Against a squishier Anubarak, he dives in, he catches the wrong cursed bullet. That could be a real tough time. But
Anhedonia banned Tassadar because Vala and Ariel are both up. So now they switch to the Zul'jin. Guaranteed that was a Vala pick.
Yeah, I could see that.
So Kerosene picked up. Is it a double support with the Zul'jin? Because usually you need it. You know, they're trying to combine the Zul'jin's low health playstyle with the Divine Palm, I'm assuming. So I like that alone. And, you know, Kerosene has decent race on the Immortal for his support.
Well, I mean, they have one of the best supports in the business in the form of Itobi, and we saw them pull some flat-out magic out of their hat last game in a solo Brightwing. I don't know how they managed to stay alive as well as they did. So I'm sure they feel rather confident. Look like Itobi's like, hey, man, I want to get involved, man. I want to dash around and kick people and punch people in the face, too. Juki, don't think you're the only person. I get it.
That's very true. So at this point, I would love to see, like, Anhedonia have the option of picking up something like Vala. I know it's not the best pickup without double support, but there's nothing on Juck Fuuki's side that can kill her, and even like a Tyrael to finish it off. But they go with the Tyrande and Sonya. I was also going to say Dahaka would be a great pick here too. But yeah, neither of which get picked up. The Tyrande, interesting, and the Sonya. Anhedonia is going to be pretty difficult to kill, honestly.
Not only will they be difficult to kill, but if you get caught out of position, Uther, Tyrande, Sonya, Li Ming is going to be looking to put that exclamation point on somebody's face. The moment that Hunter's Mark goes in, it's going to hurt.
So they did go the double support, but why the... Okay, Rhaegar has the highest race out of any support on the Immortal, so perhaps that's why. And, you know, Ariel is up, but they elect to not choose her with the Zul'jin combination. I guess I get it.
Yeah. I mean, relying on Zul'jin for hope, it can be a little dicey. He doesn't really have AoE damage, so it's not like it's Lunara being able to spread that around, or Gul'dan hitting a bunch of people with Fell Blast, so I can see why they'd be dissuaded a little bit there. But they are truly hanging their hat on this Zul'jin with this compilation.
And what do you think? Like, which draft are you liking better at this point?
To be perfectly honest, I like Anhedonia's comp a little better.
Okay.
I think it has more options. I think it has more kill potential. Like I said, this Zul'jin pick, it's confidence in that player.
Yeah.
I mean, Evan Drinde did a really good job on Kael'thas last game. I have no doubt that they have the technical ability to warrant the composition.
Yeah.
But if he's shut down in any way, it can get a little rough around the edges for old Juck Fuuki.
I think that's totally true. I personally like Anhedonia's draft a little bit better, but I see merit in both of them. So we'll just have to see how these teams play this laning phase and this first Immortal. I feel like that's going to have pretty heavy implications on the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Second game of the night, over on the left side, we have members of Juck Fuuki. It's going to be Karazim being played by Juki. Itobi will be playing Rhaegar. Ishbu, Zone Arthas. Kevin will be playing Varian back on the Warrior, and Evadrinde be on Zol Jin.
And on the right in red is Anhedonia. We got QB playing the Uther, Kwanzaa playing Li Ming, Zabutak on Anubarak, Mabalzis playing Sonya, and Azukai on Tyrande. Dang it, dude. I had it, too. I had it.
What was it? My chuckle? Was it my chuckle?
Yeah, you totally lost that one.
Oh, you know, I take responsibility for that. That's fine. 4 members of Anhedonia are hanging down in the bot lane. They find Juki out here doing push-ups.
Oof.
A little bit of cheekiness already, yeah.
Yep. And Juck Fuuki decided to send both Arthas and Rhaegar topside to try to deal with the Sonya, not stacking in the Zol Jin lane. Juki taking a tiny bit of damage there, but
I think we're seeing some of the psychological impact of this flamboyant nature. They were like, hey, go ahead and try it again, buddy. They tried to go and take him down, but
the mark comes out and he's like, no, I don't want any of that.
Yeah, Karazim's a wily beast. We saw Evan, he found his B key. Congratulations to him as well. But 4 people down here. It's gonna buy time for the E-Bros to have a ball up here against old Mabalzis.
Exactly. Like I said, I would expect both of these supports to be in the same lane as Zol Jin so that he can stack up the you want axe as soon as possible, but we're not seeing that. So it's a pretty interesting choice from Juck Fuuki.
Yeah, I feel like there's food on the table for both of these teams. Because, I mean, once you see that there's only 2 people down here, you go ham. And then they do that. I don't care. Yeah, let's see you do some push-ups now, Juki. That's what Anhedonia said. Like, get out of here. Zabutak gets a heal at the right time. He almost got taken down as well.
By the way, it's Arcanite axes. It's not. Ooh, it's not you want axe. I've literally never seen somebody go this talent before.
Well, that's one way to get some more AoE damage for your composition. Yep. It's not really the talent of choice. Ballsies can only casually watch the E-Bros walk through this top tower. He understands his limits. He's going to try to spin around a little bit, but it's all for show. First Immortal phase is here. There's the root. Kubi starts to back away. Juki, Ishbu on the chase. Evans trying to get involved. Gets to slow. Kubi turns into a ghost.
Just goes down there. I was going to say it was a pretty solid rotation from Anhedonia, but they just needed the response, and here it comes. There's the Sonya dropping the spin with a few heals left over from the Ghost of Uther, but no follow-up damage there. Now Anhedonia have their eyes set onto the Immortal, but again, just they're not able to trade out a whole lot. Meanwhile, on the top, Juck Fuuki has Itobi and Juki pushing on the enemy's Immortal up here, so trading out a lot of damage, and they're actually going to be able to get this one to the 50% mark.
Yeah, overall, that chip damage that Anhedonia were able to put on the enemy Immortal doesn't exactly pay off. They get the takedown on Uther, and then there's a rotation from Juck Fuuki there. And they're looking to race, but Anhedonia's looking to defend.
Troll's Blood at level 4 too? What is happening with this build? I'm not judging, but this is not what I expected at all.
Troll's Blood, increased heal regeneration. You have 2 supports on your team.
I know. Things are getting wild, Lauren. Definitely getting wild. Juck Fuuki sends up the Karazim as well to push this top lane so that Anhedonia are forced to either commit to this Immortal or go up top and catch that soak. But it looks like they are committing. The tunnel goes in plus the Impale, but Zol Jin is able to walk away pretty safely.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kwanzaa can't be everywhere. They were trying to get the Immortal. We are going to see a new wreck get taken down. Li Ming was late to the party because they were trying to burn down the Immortal. Tyrande has next to no escape. Ishbu has a smile on his face about that. Third takedown. Uther again vanishes off the map. Kwanzaa's going to try to teleport on out of here. Mabalzi is going to get found by Kevin. Kwanzaa does rotate back, trying to help his teammate out. 1v2. Kevin is forever.
And honestly, oh, good night, Sweet Prince. Those are some pretty good rotations from Juck Fuuki. You know, they push top lane with the Karazim, forcing Anhedonia into a questionable position on the top left side of that Immortal, and then they just rotated everybody down and forced a team fight. So that was a really, really good job by Juck Fuuki. And now the Immortal goes over to them with a 50% health bar. They're definitely looking at this wall, maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah, we were questioning their ability to macro play, but with these sleuthy moves, I would say, a little bit of guile help them out to the first Immortal. They go through the bottom wall. Nice level lead as far as experience goes. Level 7 not too far off for the members of Juck, Fuuki. Kubi steps forward, looking for some kind of engagement. There's a nice root from Arthas. Ishbu setting things up nicely. Evans just poking away. Yep. Back out as the Immortal goes down.
Yeah, and Juck Fuuki just decided to walk away there. I think that was a fantastic decision. You know, pushing up any more means that they might have lost a little bit of a fight, but you know, they have their level 7s now. They're looking at positioning up and actually taking resources off the map, so they have their eyes actually on a fight here.
I'm looking at these towns. Are we gonna? Azkai gets caught out, gets the heal from Uther, walks towards the left, not exactly where you want to go. Tyrannus' fate is gonna be sealed. Evans looking to chase down Zabatak, 300 health, gets taken down. Kubi's the next target. The root is gonna miss, but Juki's dashing around, zipping around on his monk. That's going to be the 8th takedown for Juck Fuuki.
Yeah, that was just... Okay, so did you see what Juck Fuuki did there? They walked into that left side bush and then walked down and made it look like they were just camping in the bush, right? But they actually walked over around the camp to the right side bush, and then Anhedonia thought that they were actually going to get a good engagement, but then they got collapsed on and they were down a talent. I'm not even sure they were able to select it in time. And yeah, they just got engaged on and lost that fight. So really good job again by Juck Fuuki.
Kala, walk me through this variant build.
These builds are so hard for me, man.
Just. Are we gonna see twin?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We're definitely seeing twin blades. Like this is why it makes sense. It's either that or Colossus Smash, but I'm pretty sure it's twin blades. And that's why it makes sense that Zul'jin isn't going just like full regular damage build like that, because I think that the variant's going to actually take a lot of resources away from those supports.
Yeah, I mean, if Kevin's looking to go full YOLO with the Fury build, that'd be a surprise to 5 people on the red team, I can tell you that one. If I saw a variant get picked up, I wouldn't be expecting all that. Second Immortal phase is going to be here, though. Stun goes in. Ballsies gets good amount of damage on Kevin, but finds out that he's the recipient. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, though. Anhedonia's showing signs of life.
Azukai sniped the Lunar Flare there, securing themselves 1 kill, but it just wasn't enough to turn the fight. Li Ming also got picked. There comes another Lunar Flare. The cleanse comes out, and that's actually another pick for Anhedonia, and they're looking for more.
Yeah, that's a nice little bit of damage there from Anhedonia, especially without Li Ming. They're showing they know how to scrap. But level 10 is here now for Juck.
Which means
they have their heroics. Carl?
Yep, I know. Just say it.
You see it, right?
Just say it. Just say
Bloodlust enters the arena. And Fury. And right. So okay. You know, this has a surprising amount of effectiveness. You give an upgrade to a high swinging, fast swinging hero like Fury Varian, he could potentially sustain rather well. You do have double support, so conceptually I get it, but man.
Wait, I cannot wait to watch this team fight where Juck Fuuki just mashes their face on the keyboard and they look for a kill. This is going to be so exciting.
Lunar Flare goes in. Ishbu, I think that's the old Bloodlust getting called. Zabatak burrows out of there. No takedowns just yet. Double root, and then we see the old guillotine from long range. Evidrinde had enough health to not really make that a killing blow, but look at this, Kyle. A full shield immortal for Juck.
And then now Anhedonia realize they have to pull the trigger and make something happen, because yeah, they just lost the full shield here. Mabalzi's on the backside of the fight, spinning to try to maintain some health, but now he's looking back to try to peel for Azukai. Kevin a little bit caught out, but again, the burrow comes in and a whole bunch of damage going over to Juck Fuuki. The spin is there, and as well as the divine shield just to keep the Sonya up. Kevin also goes down. Now they're looking for more in the cocoon.
Kevin was the fastest thing alive. Did you see how he was trying to get out of there, man? He was full speed ahead. The Divine Palm is going to land. There's the Impale. Sayonara, Juki. But the damage is effectively done. This Immortal's just been hanging out in the bottom lane at the Legion of Doom, meanwhile. Going to get the bottom fort at absolutely no charge. Worth?
Yeah, it was. Okay, Anhedonia, I don't think they expected this talent build coming out from Juck Fuuki's roster. So they obviously lost that Immortal way faster than they anticipated. It was a bloodlusted variant. Okay, so like with Twin Blades, like he's destroying the Immortal. So Anhedonia, they had to force a fight there, and they did a really good job of doing so. So now let's look at the experience. What would have been a 13 to 10.5 maybe if they didn't get that team fight is now basically almost a 12 to 12. So really, really good job by Anhedonia to equalize that one.
My ballsies. Poor thing. Another takedown for Juck Fuuki. Level 13 is now on the horizon, thanks to that takedown. You know, I questioned if it was worth, but when you take down both of the forts and you're this far ahead as far as structures and siege and everything else goes, I'll trade Juki. I'll trade, you know, a Varian. If I get this far ahead, Juck Fuuki has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they've got their eyes set on the neutral camps as well. Arthas invading, trying to get a little bit of vision on Anhedonia. They do see the Tyrande, but they manage to back out. Now this is actually just a 2v3, throwing out the Howling Blast just to say, hey, get out of my lane, nerd. Like, they're pressing up. They've got the 13. You know, they know that Anhedonia can't reasonably take a fight at this point. So now Anhedonia is just looking at destroying these minion camps in the lanes and trying to get level 13 before the next immortal spawns.
I mean, if I'm on the side of Anhedonia, I'm kind of liking that they're pushing these lanes up. That means they're not the Avenger too far out, but Zabatak is going to hope that's the longest burrow of his life. He's able to get back to the keep wall, saves his bacon skin and everything else. But yeah, with these lanes pushed this far in, Anhedonia's standing to be able to get to level 13 before the next immortal phase shows up, and they don't have to venture too far to do it. That's key.
Exactly. Juck Fuuki are showing that they want to fight here. They're pushed in so deep, looking at the enemy's fallen shaman camp, but looks like they're going to back off of this one. And as you're saying with the burrow there, definitely a good choice to go under king in this matchup.
Yeah, he wanted the long range burrow. Saves his neck there, and level 13 should get picked up by the time the first immortal shows up. Juck Fuuki continuing to apply pressure and get what last bit of value of this tier advantage that they can. They pick up this bruiser camp. That's a siege option off the board for Anhedonia.
And honestly, like, Anhedonia have the tools when they hit 13 to make this fight happen for them. They have so much burst damage with the Tyrande and the Li Ming. They also have Cocoon for Kharazim, and there's no spike healing on the side of Juck Fuuki, so they can realistically blow up a single target as long as they line everything up. And there's Guillotine for the Zul'jin, so they can destroy a target really easily. They just have to make everything happen for them.
You're absolutely right. I mean, based on these talent choices, the ball is definitely in their court to make a play. If they can coordinate their offense, even without Li Ming, we saw them have a good amount of burst. If they're able to pull all that together, it should pretty much be lights out, especially with the Cocoon on Kharazim, like you said.
Exactly. So Sonya positioning top, just trying to destroy that the camp here. But now it looks like both these teams are positioning for a fight.
The twin axe damage is absolutely real on Kwanzaa. Encourage them to back away. Here we go. Got the Bloodlust going in. Divine Shield. Juki dashes around trying to break their teammate out of the cocoon. Evan Drinde finds an orb and everything else for their trouble. The Impale sets up the takedown on Zul'jin. Tyrande's going to drop as well, though. Ultimately a 1-for-1 trade.
That is the 1-for-1, but now it looks like Itobi is getting chased. The laser comes through, but oh, is that Juke City? It is a real place.
Oh my god, Itobi laces up the Nikes, cuts back the hard way, and says, not so fast, Kwanzaa. I saw the bowling ball coming through. I can dodge a wrench, I can dodge a ball.
But meanwhile, Juck Fuuki's fallen shaman camp didn't get destroyed by the Sonya, so it's just relentlessly pushing top, and the rest of Juck Fuuki positioned top here, and they're gonna grab this immortal.
Yeah, I mean, half shield immortal isn't not exactly bad. Zabatak is going to get imploded by the follow-up damage. Mabalzis could be a potential target. Juki jumping in. There's the slow from Kevin. A further slow with the Q. Magic missiles not doing enough to dissuade the advance. There's the long-range route from Ishbu. But it's all a distraction. Tyrande's not who you want to try to clear out anything on their own.
No, definitely not. She's definitely not the hero to do that one. And yeah, now the half shield immortal is pushing down bottom. Off this play, Juck Fuuki can realistically look to get 2 keeps. So Anhedonia need to force bottom really hard at this point while Varian shows top.
Still a good amount of shield left. It's been hardly scratched, all things considered. Kubi jumps out front. We see the old Starfall go in. Divine Palm is going to land on Itobi, half resetting the health bar. Level 16 is here, though. Li Ming is going to be first to fall. Kubi's going to be the next target. Juki, now that they have that Way of 100 Fists, another melee assassin enters the board. Sonya gets taken down. Itobi poison? Poor Rhaegar.
Oh my word. And at this point, this is a full health immortal with both these waves crashing in. So I assume Juck Fuuki is just going to look to finish this game off. And 50% health left on the core, and this is definitely GG, Lauren.
I gotta tell you.
So that build on all of these heroes, Evandrinde did 41,000 damage, the most in the game, on a substandard build on Zul'jin.
Kala, If I had a word to describe how I'm feeling about Juck Fuuki right now, it would be vexed. I'm not sure what it is. Is it that Juck Fuuki are just that mechanically skilled that they can afford to play these unusual compositions? Or are they such pioneers in this current meta that they're finding things that don't seemingly make sense on paper and they're turning them into gold?
Well, that's actually what I would lean more towards. So, honestly, as soon as we saw the first 2 talent pickups for both Zul'jin and Varian, we should have known what we were going to see from Varian, obviously. But because like the healing edition for Zul'jin, like picking up Troll's Blood like that, he changed his build to be more of like a backline assassin, right? Instead of just walking up getting those auto attacks to alleviate some of the pressure from the rest of his supports, which allowed Rhaegar to go with Bloodlust, which allowed Kharazim to be like diving in, acting as that melee assassin. And basically by picking up the Kharazim as well, like they had the Divine Palm. So it afforded Guillotine for Zul'jin to again afford him to play back using that sort of like more like non-auto attacker hero style of Zul'jin. Definitely something like I've never seen before personally, but yeah, allowed him to go Guillotine because he has the Divine Palm. So like they took away from some heroes kits because it was supplemented in other areas, right? Like it was actually really smart. I did not expect that from them at all. That was actually super smart. Super impressed.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely out there on a high wire when you come up with a composition that, you know, you see a standard composition. It's like we need 100% of a warrior. We need 100% of a support. And normally you just want one hero to fill those roles. But when you come up with these oddball compositions, they're like, well, I'll be 70% support and you can be 30. And then we'll have 80% of a warrior here and then 20 here. Like, sometimes they don't work. Compositions like that can be very awkward, but again, I think it's a mixture of them just understanding unearthed gems in the current meta, along with just raw technical ability. I mean, what we saw these past 2 games, Kala, they come up with these weird comps, and while the enemy team is trying to sort out how to deal with that, their macro play just steamrolls them. Yep, and like, they just win.
Honestly, do you remember when Juck Fuuki got the 100% immortal at like a level 11, I think it was, right? At that point, I'm pretty sure they lost that entire immortal because they were Anhedonia was talking about the talent choices from Juck Fuuki. I'm almost guaranteeing you that. Like they're like, oh my gosh, what's happened? Oh, dude, what's going on with our immortal? Oh, we just lost an immortal. It's like you have a bloodlusted Varian with twin blades attacking your immortal. It's dead in a matter of seconds. Like it's insane.
A lot of jazz hands going on with that composition. We want to give a shout out to Mr. Slack and Salt, good friend of mine, streamer in the Heroes community, who subbed to the channel. All sub proceeds will be going towards a BlizzCon party. Hope to see you guys there. I've heard, I've been able to indirectly secure my ticket to BlizzCon, so it feels amazing, man, for me. Hope you guys are able to get your tickets as well.
See you there, dude.
Hey, next game will be Juck Fuuki. We're going to follow them. They'll be playing Flexing Noobs in our good old-fashioned arg. Tells us it's with 2 zeros. So I'll have to update that.
Noobs?
Flexing Noobs.
All right, I dig it.
Like, ooh, yeah. Like, you see where I'm going with this.
I would do it, but I don't own any of those things. What are they called? Biceps? I don't have any of those ones.
Look at that, man. You're ripped over there. Look at that. Jacked. See?
Yeah.
See?
Nice. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Positive reinforcement.
Oh, another cool thing. Over there at the Halorasanic in the chat. Feels good. Heroes Hype channel will be getting a new emote. HH Thump. HH Hype Thump. Neat. So again, thanks, Mr. Slack and Salt. Pretty cool.
Nice job. Thanks, dude. He's a good pal of mine too. Nice guy.
All right, let's see. Get the next game lined up. Let's take a look at the bracket. And if you have not yet donated $1, head over to the Matcherino site, HH Tempo 2. These teams have been putting on some amazing games. What better way to show appreciation and thanks than kicking a free $1 or, add some more in yourself. Like I said, we're trying to get to $400 tonight.
It's HH Tempo 2, right? You said for just a single loony?
Yes. Well,
yeah,
Chris
donates
United States dollar.
Loony, like the
I know.
I'm just joking. There's probably not a lot of Canadians in the chat, so they're probably like, wait, who is this guy?
With all your loonies and toonies there, eh?
Yeah.
That was actually pretty good. That was pretty good.
It's not bad there, bud.
Kyle, look at your face, go. In 2 minutes, look, just your response netted a reaction. I'll just say that. New guys, and who is this team still battling it out? The winner of that will take on TQ. Flame is Lame will be going up against 7th Empire. 7th Empire mainstays in the hero type scene. They have a member named Dreadnought that's not Wade Pinfold.
It should just be Dread. He should change his name to Dread and then just capital N-O-T.
In 2 minutes, Kyle again. Check my. You're on a roll tonight, man. I'm digging it. YDV East Coast Revolvers. The winner of that will be taking on Firm Handshake. Firm Handshake were able to give the old. I'm not going to say backhand. I don't know how close the game was, but one way or the other, they advanced over Fratris. And we've been invited into a lobby.
Ooh, let's go.
All right. So there's actually a lot on the line here tonight. New guys and Flame is Lame are tied for third. They both have.
That's what I like to hear.
Juck, Fuuki, this is their first time showing up this season. So if they show up and they win, they'll just get 8 points right out of the gate. So they'll immediately catapult themselves towards the top 3. Yep. They will need to show up for the subsequent weeks to take a serious run at first place. But it's really important for them to get up there, because these other teams, Firm Handshake, new guys, actually I don't think 101st are in here this week. I'm sitting here looking.
Oh no.
So they could definitely fall back. This is a huge opportunity for a team like Juck, Fuuki to establish their foothold in the rankings.
And honestly, from what we've seen, like, they are bringing wild cards to these games that, unless you're an established team with a shot caller that can react like that on the fly, it's going to be difficult for many teams to go up against them, because it's not like Juck, Fuuki is lacking in any sort of mechanical ability, right? So if their opponents aren't able to react on the fly, then it's going to be tough.
I mean, when you are a team that can make Bloodlust Rhaegar and Fury Varian along with Guillotine Self-Regeneration build Zul'jin, you make all that look strong. You can't box them out of a comp. They are going to be just fine with any assortment of heroes that you give them.
Wait, that's why they banned Greymane.
I mean, they didn't need him.
It makes so much sense. Yeah, they didn't need him, and they didn't want their opponents to have him, obviously. And Greymane would have been able to blow up that comp, like instantly be able to get onto the Zul'jin. And Varian losing 40% of his health is not what you want. So that makes sense now. So much of the stuff that they were doing early game, like the talent choices for Zul'jin and stuff like that, I was like, oh no, like, what's going on? But it's all like, this is premeditated, like, straight up. Good job, guys.
You know what? They should change their name from Juck Fuuki, so I don't mess that up. So I don't juck that up. To Method to the Madness.
I'm not even mad at that.
You heard it here first, guys. That's my suggestion and my gift to you. Juck Fuuki should change their name to Method to the Madness, because they come up with these comps, and we're Callie, you and I are talking about in the draft, like, WTF, mate? Like, what is all this? And then after the game, you and I are like, oh.
It's all making sense now.
It's all in here now.
Yeah. No, it's actually true, though.
Sorry, it looks like flexing noobs with 2 zeros. Be on the right side.
I mean, you heard me say it throughout the game. I was like, wait, no, that makes so much sense now, and that makes so much sense now, and yeah.
Right. Method to the Madness. Spare your casters.
Or, okay, if I see something weird, I'm not going to think it's weird. Okay, if I see something non-standard, I'm not going to think it's weird or bad. I'm going to try to figure out why they're doing it. Yeah, okay, so that's the proper way to cast.
So we're not casters at that point. We're detectives.
Yeah.
And I'm on the case. Oh, Sherlock Holmes. I don't have my cop pipe. But I'm going to give it the old go one way or the other. Make sure I got the name centered because I'm good at this. And Kala,
You are.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. All right. Match, that looks lined up enough.
You remind me of like a dad talking to his son when his son's like, "Oh, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it." Son, you're good at this, and you know what you're doing. It's like, I love it. Have you ever seen Dragon? Have you ever watched all of Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
Okay, you know when Gohan defeats Cell with the father-son Kamehameha?
Yes.
That's all. That's actually what he whispers to Gohan. He teleports behind him in spirit form. He's like, "You're good at this, and you know what you're doing." And then he defeats Cell. I'm sorry, man. It's so hot in my room. I'm freaking out.
Dude, you were just like, "That's all." I was like, look back at my reaction, man. I just looked at you, man. I just looked at you.
Perfect.
All right, we're ready. We're ready here, are you? We're ready here. Because we're good at this. And we know what we're doing.
Said the we. Okay.
You know, one thing I never really liked about Dragon Ball Z is the concept of the sensu bean.
Oh yeah, it's so busted and it has so many plot
It's
holes.
OP.
It's like, why didn't they just have a million of them?
Right. I would go in with a sack of sensu beans and just be like,
Put like a sensu bean IV drip or something. So you just you're always good to go.
It's like, oh no, Goku died of a heart attack, so we gotta like change it. No, give him a sensu. Hello?
Yeah.
No one ever does.
Bean farmers and why are they slacking? Yeah. So Juck Fuuki on the left, yes.
Yes.
We see them looking at the Malthael ban again. This is first ban Malthael across 3 games. Cursed Hollow again, just. I don't think it's the map specifically. I think it's just the hero. So.
I just looked over and realized my cats have just been strolling around out here like they're on a nature walk. That's fine.
I love cats, dude.
Yeah. Good old rowboat. Did you hear that?
Oh,
did you hear that? He's sitting right there.
Yeah, nice one. What's his name?
Rowboat. Like
rowboat.
Like the seafaring vessel.
Wait, you're telling me that you sat down with a kitten and decided on a name Rowboat?
Yeah, I looked that cat dead in his face. And I said, I'm going to call you Rowboat. And he said,
hold on. Okay, no, continue your story. I just saw first pick Rainer and almost lost it.
Juck Fuuki's going off the rails, man.
The Genji ban makes sense from Anhedonia, but like what do they? Okay, so now we have to look at this because it was a little bit wild last time. What are they doing with a first pick Raynor?
Well, someone's going to be trying to outposition in macro. Like, Raynor is surprisingly strong, I feel. As long as they're able to just hang it. Collar? You know, I said we would be detectives. And Collar, I don't know how we crack this case.
No, man. I think it's just like an insane protect the Raynor comp. But why don't they get like the protection heroes first or like other heroes first? Because there's no chance in any universe that Anhedonia either A, picks the Raynor or B, bans it in this situation. So like, why would they do it? I love it. I absolutely love it. But why? So if you're Anhedonia, like at this point, are you just trying to remove any like really good support? No, the stitches.
They don't want to get milk cartoned. They don't want to get milk cartoned, Colin. They see the Medivh over there. Oh, you don't know, Colin? You don't know the milk carton?
You mean a bag of milk?
My word. Oh my. See, it's Canadian.
A milk what? What's this?
You know, you just derailed the whole mythos of milk carton by suggesting.
Okay, tell me milk carton. Is it a kind of
so? Stitches Medivh. Stitches goes out, gets the hook, takes Gorge for their heroic. They gorge whoever they hook. Okay. Medivh curls an evil mustache as they put down a portal.
Yes.
Stitches steps into the portal. That gorge hero vanishes off the. What the heck is this composition?
there's solo support Tyrande with a Valera and Medivh, ETC, and Raynor. This is getting spicy up in Heroes hype. We also got the Abathur that I wanted. We got Abathur, Greymane, Anubarak, and Uther. Anhedonia's composition is actually insane. It's probably like the most powerful comp that they could have. They can finish off their comp with like a... I would actually be going, oh, do you just run the Zeratul to match the Valera?
I don't know what you do if you want to side of flexing noobs.
Yeah, Anhedonia has so many options here that they can finish off their draft with. I personally would really like to see Zeratul, but yeah, we'll have to see.
I think Void Prison could definitely help them out in these team fights. Alarak.
Okay. Alarak, similar kind of role. So I like that. All right,
well, we can do something. I mean, Alarak, I think, is underrated in the current meta. A well-played Alarak, especially with that increased range on telekinesis these days. But Kala.
Dude, this is getting so spicy. I don't know what's happening right now. And I've said that every single draft so far. I have no idea what's going on, but I am so excited.
Juck Fuuki's comp reminds me of my world-famous sugar and spice spaghetti. And it reminds me of that because whenever I explain to someone the recipe, my world-famous sugar and spice spaghetti.
World-famous, yes.
Yeah. They're like, I don't get it. Those ingredients, it just doesn't sound like they should go together. It sounds like you're going to have a travesty on your hands. Like, you're going to be having a bad time eating it. And then they eat it. Kala, and then they're like, I get it.
Sugar and spice.
Yes.
Okay.
Conversation for another time.
All right, fair enough.
Can't reveal all the trade secrets, no?
Of course not. That sounds really interesting and really good, though.
Doesn't it? But we're about to find out how this comp is going to fare. I'm curious as anybody else. Over on the left side, we're going to have the members of Juck, Fuuki. Juki's going to be playing Medivh. Toby will be playing Tyrande. Ishbu will be sliding and wailing on ETC. Evan Drinde will be playing Raynor. And Kevin on Valera.
And on the right in red is Anhedonia. We got... Oh, wait, this isn't Anhedonia. Who's this?
This is Flexing Noobs.
Flexing Noobs, my mistake. Sorry. Flex Squad on Anubarak. We got Noob Slayer 67 on Greymane. Noob Slayer 76 on Uther. Sitruk on Alarak. And Nautimus playing the Abathur.
You know, it's interesting because, like, when you see a comp like this from Juck Fuuki and you're on the other side, you're like, all right, well, we'll just play straight up and, like, stomp that comp out. Like, who do they think they are? But these comps that they've been putting together are so wild that I feel like the enemies are just more stymied than anything else. Like, they're just... It's off-putting.
Yeah, it's... Honestly, like... Even just like right off the bat here, we got regenerative microbes coming out for the Abathur. There's the auto attack build so far for Uther. So just, I don't know. This is actually just so cool. I'm not sure I'm not sure what to expect here, but both of these comps have explosive capabilities. So it's just a matter of how they play it out. I do really like Abathur on this map just because, you know, he's able to gain so much global advantage. That is going to change a little bit at level 10 because I anticipate the stage dive coming out from the ETC. But until then, I say that Flexing Noobs does have a little bit of an advantage.
Yeah, the early game, they have to try to excel 1 through 10 before the full merits of this composition comes online for Juck Fuuki, because I still don't understand how they're going to make this work. So I wouldn't want to see what they do with heroics. But I mean, one thing that I'm curious to see, Portal Mastery was the talent for Medivh level 1. So my eyes would be on Juki to see exactly what kind of shenanigans he's able to put together, because you don't see that talent too often.
Yeah, exactly. Juck Fuuki, I do think that they're going to have a little bit of an easier time getting the first tributes. And actually, the CC combo goes out onto Anubarak, but Kevin on the Valera takes more damage than the kill target for Juck Fuuki. So not a really hot engagement there.
Citrusy almost landed the old Discord strike on the solo laner Raynor. The stun goes in. Noob Slayer has the Hunter's Mark put on him. Flex Squad jumps in with the burrow. There's the portal. Kevin's able to escape thanks to Juki and the portals. A little bit of action out of the gate, but no takedowns this year.
Yeah, definitely. And then once level 7 comes in for Flexing Noobs, they're going to have a lot more to deal with the stun combinations from Juck Fuuki. So they're definitely just looking at that level 7. They don't want to start anything quite yet. We do see Greymane on the easy camp, bottom side of the map for Flexing Noobs, so manages to pick that up at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's going to be perfect in time for the tribute, which is about to spawn right about now.
You see your favorite mount right there, Kyle?
No, who's using it?
Noob Slayer?
Oh, what a god.
You're in for a treat, man. There's the burrow, does miss, as does the impale, so Itobi is able to casually step around, hang around in the slow from the bed of barbs town. Level 4 is picked up for both these teams. Level 5, pretty much even on experience. I'm curious to see how this first team fight goes, Colin.
Tribute is spawning bottom. The siege camp is also pushing bottom for Flexing Noobs, and we did see the Abathur tunnel top too. So stalling is definitely the name of the game if you're Flexing Noobs. You do have the siege advantage and you have the global pressure advantage. And actually, we do see Juck Fuuki positioning in the middle lane here, getting stalled out a little bit by the Alarak. So
there's a stun. The burst damage is absolutely serious on a new Barak. Flex Squad's like, hey, like, not like this, guys. Let me just back away. I don't know if they have the well available. Evan Drinde on Rainer has made their grand appearance. Citrus C rotates down as well. Use the telekinesis to knock Kevin out of stealth. There goes the burrow and the impale. The stun to follow up. No damage, though. The owl is going to miss. Juki jumps into the portal.
Oh.
Cut it a little close there, my friend. Itobi's trying to charge it up. Citrus is going to interrupt that, but the stun damage, Kevin says goodnight.
Perfect cheap shot with the Lunar Flare follow-up to secure a kill onto the Anubarak, but Flexing Noobs are not done yet. The health bars on Juck Fuuki are extremely low, and they're a solo support Tyrande composition. If Tyrande can't step up an auto attack, the combination from Alarak steps up and manages to get 2 kills. Or sorry, 1 kill.
But, I mean, Juck Fuuki does respond. Kevin's going to be low on health. Noob Slayer almost able to get the takedown before Greymane goes down. There's the stun. Kevin shows up again, and a knockback from Evan Drinde turns this into a full-on bloodbath and a slight beat step.
See, the Alarak got his combination onto 2 targets. Not quite the follow-up from Flexing Noobs that he was expecting, but fantastic job by the Alarak to get the combo there. But yeah, Juck Fuuki were able to capitalize on the positioning of Alarak and do some work in that little bit of a team fight. So this experience, both just 7 across the boards. And as I said, now it's going to be a little bit easier for Flexing Noobs now that Guardian of Ancient Kings is coming online.
Yeah, it's definitely going to add a wrinkle or 3 to the proceedings. I think these team fights...
Oh, it's cleanse.
It's going to give us a lot of insight. Like that first team fight, I think it comes down to timing. Citrus C walked up and just delivered a thunderous right hook. Like there was no mystery about it. Like he just walked up and was like, telekinesis, Discord strike, you're dead. If he times it at the right time, this squishy comp with solo Tyrande is gonna crumble.
It's true. Master's Touch now coming online for the Medivh, so he's looking to stack that one up without dying. It's not a tall order, but it becomes even more difficult when you only have Tyrande as your support, and actually Assassination on the Valera. So looking at separating targets from Flexing Noobs, trying to get that pick off with the Lunar Flare follow-up, perhaps.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught out alone with that talent getting picked up. Because, I mean, it's been rough already. That Hunter's Mark adds a noted punch to the burst from Valera. Ishbu's going to get targeted. There's the Force of Will. Yank back, Discord Strike, and the E. Kick him in the butt on the way out. Should have as well available, though.
Yeah, Valera gets spotted in the middle lane there, so we do see Abathur stepping up and body soaking bottom. So Flexing Noobs are gaining some value here with the body soak and hat soak. And now both these teams just kind of positioning, looking to challenge each other. I'd expect to see Juki, just like that, try to get some stacks up on his Q.
As you alluded to earlier, though, these stall tactics definitely serve to favor the members of Flexing Noobs. You got the interrupt there from the last possible moment from ETC, but he doesn't have that magic trick available. Again, telekinesis helps Alarak get out of there. Citrus C showing some mechanical prowess, but the stall game continues. Valera has rotated down to the bottom portion of the map, though, and Abathur's like, I don't see Valera. I'm getting back.
Yep, he pulled back at a perfect time. Really, really good job from the Abathur player there.
There's the impale after a nice 2-person burrow. Juki low on health. Force of Will is going to be there. Noob Slayer on the chase. Juki unable to get into the portal. Does get taken down and finds his Master's Touch stacks down to 0. Burrow after Itobi. Impale. Discord Strike for added flavor. Comes down to timing, like I said.
That's actually super good for Flexing Noobs. They managed to pick up the 2 kills there, and now Heroics online for them. It's not a good time if you're Juck Fuuki. We do see Go for the Throat picked up, the Cocoon, Divine Shield, Counter-Strike, and Ultimate Evolution, of course. Yeah, it's difficult to say.
Yeah, I really like go for the throat here. I mean, Curse Bull is a strong heroic, one of the strongest in the game in my personal opinion.
Ooh.
But you want to be able to jump onto a hero like Valeria at a moment's notice, like Raynor at a moment's notice, and go for the throat can help get you there. This boss is going to be interesting. Noob Slayer's like crawls over to the corner ropes and hits the old tag team partner in there. Citrusy, we all saw that stun.
I mean, it was super smart. They traded the Ultimate Evolution for a boss. So, you know, the members, or one member of Flexing Noobs does have to back, but that was a boss when a tribute is spawning, which is on the opposite side of the map in a favorable position. So Flexing Noobs can both A, take this, or B, just position to defend while their boss gets value top. So it looks like Juck, Fuuki are just going to give this one up, as I would expect them to.
I think this tribute alone inspired the stage dive selection for ETC. He's got to try to deal with the siege pressure up top. He's got Echo Pedal to help him do exactly that, but he needs to be able to show up at a moment's notice and help his team out in that capacity. So they help themselves with global pressure. But 2 tributes now for a Flexing Noobs that's looking pretty good.
I also think that the stage dive was pretty much one of the only talents he could go here, just because, you know, you're up against the Abathur. It's just going to be so difficult to deal with the pressure that Abathur puts on Cursed Hollow when you have heroes like Valeera, when you have heroes like Raynor. So I really, like that choice.
Citrusy did miss the Discord strike. Kevin is still spotted, though. You're not entirely invisible. He's able to get back to the bottom 4. I thought we might see some kind of fancy shenanigans like that, and there it is.
Yep. It looks like, Citrusy's getting stepped up on. The stun lands. There's the counter strike, but here comes the stage dive as well. The slide goes out onto Greymane. Greymane transforms into the Warg and gets stunned again. There's the cleanse. Noob Slayer actually saving the other Noob Slayer, and Uther actually getting teleported on. The Lunar Flare lands, and there goes the Divine Shield. So he's able to escape to safety, but that was actually really difficult. They're both Noob Slayer.
Yeah, I just kind of noticed that, not gonna lie. But I mean, well played on both parts. That cleanse was the difference between Greymane going down or not. You have to use Divine Shield to save your own neck, but you're not in a position where you need to fight over this next tribute. So overall, I'd say that's a trade that was worth it. Juki has to throw out the Leyline Seal to save his skin. Ishbu shows up as well. Power Slide not going to be there for the engage. Evan Drende shows up late to the party. He's like, all right, guess I'm just going to go then.
And honestly, Flexing Noobs have so much kill pressure that Juki's not really able to get much stacks on the Master's Touch. He has to stay in bird form a lot and spend a lot of his time just prioritizing the burst damage and trying to shield it off. So we only see 10 stacks coming in at level 13.
Yeah, I mean, Citrusy picking Alarak has been a sensational choice. That silence is both an eternity and a death sentence for a hero like Medivh, so Juki is definitely have to play it a little safe. Noob Slayer 67 is going to pick up this Bruiser Camp. That should be some siege pressure if left to its own devices. But with level 13 had for both of these teams, the next tribute is going to be interesting.
Now we got DFA and Assassination available for Valeera, so she's looking at picking off those lone targets. I would actually expect her to sit around these solo lanes a little bit more, but they are prioritizing now the stun combination from Tyrande and Valeera to try to lock down a single target, but haven't gained a crazy amount of value from it just yet. We do see ETC pushing this top lane too to, he's got the stage dive available. So Juck Fuuki just waiting out this last tribute, and we're definitely going to see an explosive team fight here. It's 13-13. Oh. Wow, nice job.
There's the Leyline Seal as well to secure the disengage, the Lunar Flare follow-up. I was going to say, that assassination talent has Abathur's name all over it. At the very least, it forces him to stop body soaking. At the very best case, Ontario. Kevin finds himself a bug, paves the way for the red team to get cursed.
Yeah, and we saw the Raynor's Raiders get popped out there as well as the smoke bomb. But now Juck Fuuki are turning up the heat there. They've got a bunch of pressure in this mid lane. We do see ETC now positioning top, gaining the soak off this wave here. Kevin looking at the rotation. So Juck Fuuki are just trying to strangulate the mid to top side of this map while Abathur was off the table.
Yeah, I mean, they have time to go back to the boss after the curse. They don't have the most siege pressure in the world, especially with Raynor's Raiders being a selection. There's Cocoon, though. Evan Drende's going to start backing away. He's like, hey.
Can they stun the times off, or can they time the stuns off this?
Oh, well, stage dives have a thing or two to say about that. Itobi, brother saves brother. Now it's Itobi's turn to get saved, or not. The long range damage is going to be there. Toronto does get taken down. Alarak falls. Rainer's going to be next. Ishbu's trying to get the heck out of dodge. After clone getting some value. Noob Slayer able to get out.
Noob Slayer? Which one? I don't know. Kevin now caught up. The stun goes out. Oh, but the portal is there to save him. And the ley line comes out as well. Ishbu and Juki managed to walk away to safety. But level 16 is now available for Juck, Fuuki, and they are in a full level lead. They actually, that being said, they only got, actually they got 2 forts off of that curse. So pretty substantial push there because of the amount of skirmishing mid. And also the clone got forced out pretty early by the Abathur. You know, I was going to comment that you need to really force when you have curse like that and you're against an Abathur, because Abathur is able to pretty much negate an entire curse if he's on the opposing team. So he's really, really good at that. So Juck, Fuuki did a good job by forcing the team fight there, and it made Abathur not be able to soak the 2 lanes with his hat and body, and they paid, you know, for it with 2 forts.
You make an excellent point, because I mean, normally when you get the curse, you want to be able to do the siege damage yourself. But if you can tie up your opponent by forcing him to fight you in lane, you're going to get that passive benefit, and especially against an Abathur. If he's too busy doing something else, like helping his team stay alive, you're going to get a pretty good amount of that.
Yep. And the stun goes out again, the counter strike to follow up, but the stage dive also follow in there, and oh, he went right. Oh my gosh, the CTC play. That's 2 kills picked up now for Juck, Fuuki.
And it feels bad for old Noob Slayer Uther. I don't even know what the number is, because Divine Shield came off a cooldown exactly as the first hero fell. Noob Slayer 67, Greymaine's going to get punted out of the proceedings as well. I don't know if we're seeing the full value or merit to this composition come online like it has before. I think, Kyla, we're just seeing raw technical ability. Yeah,
like, I just feel like these team fights here in the mid lane, this has happened twice now where it has not gone in Flexing Noob's favor. They need to play the map more. They have the Abathur, and they just sent their Greymane to go grab Siege. So it's like they could have pushed that out so heavily like this right now, and then all of a sudden it would have forced Juck, Fuuki to either send one down, like the ETC, to try to depush, or then force something elsewhere. Like, they have to make sure they separate the resources of Juck, Fuuki, but they're not able to do that right now, and we're seeing them pay for it because of these team fights.
Level 16 was picked up, however, for Flexing Noobs. If they get this tribute, it would be Curse. Itobi, Evandrinde, Ishbu are already here. With all the pressure in the top lane, it definitely looks like Flexing Noobs has other things to do on the map. They're just trying to stop the bleeding.
Abathur, Valera is hunting you, my dude.
Anonymous is like, he looked around, he's like, I've seen this. I've felt these winds before. I don't like all this.
Not today, Valera, not today. The tunnel comes out, back to mid lane there. Boss D pushed on the top side, manages to get the full wall here. 15-minute boss. Actually pretty strong. So members of Juck, Fuuki now rotate bottom, and they're picking up their own boss, which again is going to be threatening right on that keep wall, and it's going to come up at the same time as this next tribute. So Flexing Noobs are going to be put into a position where they're either are going to contest this boss, which means they give up the tribute and then fight 2-3 and 2-3, or they take the tribute and then let the boss push in. So we'll see which choice they make.
Yeah, and it feels bad if you're on the side of Flexing Noobs, because you're like, all right, we just dealt with their curse. We only need one more tribute before we get a curse ourselves. What are they going to do? Get three tributes in a row? And his macro pressure says it very well could happen. Evandrinde is not being contested at all, so that's going to be the second tribute. So now the slight advantage they had as far as the map objective goes out the window because of the macro pressure in Uther or Abathur. Ishbu's like, I did this.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to say real quick, I really wish that Flexing Noobs decided to just let that boss push in and then force the fight, because now they're risking the next tribute being a 20-18 fight, which I actually think is going to, happen at this point. So now they, instead of them taking a situation where they could have won off of it, they took 2 situations where they lose.
That's a tough way to look at it. I mean, you're absolutely right. But man, that's got to be somewhat deflating if you're on the side of Flexing Noobs. It's gonna be a tribute in the top left corner of the map. And as we've seen all night, definitely looks like Juck, Fuuki are starting to run away with this one because of the tough decisions they've forced their opponents into. This is a lose-lose.
Yep, and they realize it. Now the rest of, or sorry, 2 members of Juck Fuuki are just basically baiting flexing noobs around the map there with the portals, and the tribute is picked up. Level 20 is about to come online for Juck Fuuki. That's actually an incredibly fast tribute spawn, if I might say. But yeah, this level 20 is just about to hit here, and this is looking grim if you are flexing noobs.
Kevin does get spotted by the mines, but one way or the other, the members of Juck Fuuki are bowling for keeps, especially once the level 20 heroic talent gets selected. They will definitely be forward leaning. Oh, the trampoline? The old ATC trampoline build comes out to play. Kevin waiting for this wall to go down, on the hunt, skulking around. Juki's flying overhead. Someone gets caught out of position. It could be ugly. There it is. There's the burst damage. Stage dive is ultimately largely going to miss. Lunar Flare will miss as well. There's the silence on Ishbu, and Noobrak is going to get squashed. Ishbu wraps around the corner, gets the Force of Will and the portal for the hair-raising escape. Alarak ultimately falls.
And unfortunately, at that point, it doesn't really matter because flexing noobs put all of their damage resources into trying to kill that stage dive ETC, but it just wasn't quite enough. The Force of Wills were there, and now every lane is just pushing in relentlessly, and Juck Fuuki are looking to end this game.
Yeah, it is going to be a town hall meeting at the core. With all these lanes down, you're going to see plenty of lanes pushed right to the core. Shield goes down. Lunar Flare is not going to be timed off of the leyline seal, but it's all a formality now. GG, Juck Fuuki.
That game could have been a lot closer, but I felt like it kind of fell apart for flexing noobs during that mid game. We saw them taking all those team fights when they just really didn't have to. You know, they could have forced stuff across the map and then made ETC go and respond to it, and then maybe just like do like little micro skirmishes, force out the stage dive. If you force that stage dive, now they have to win a fight, right? Like if a stage dive comes out, Juck Fuuki has to win that team fight because then they just completely remove any sort of macro pressure they have from on the map. So if the stage dive comes in, all of a sudden flexing noobs has the Abathur, which is double soaking. Now if Juck Fuuki don't get their team fight or even one kill or any structures, they're like, oh, now we don't have any more global map pressure. Like what do we do? You know?
Right.
So we saw those fights come in, and flexing noobs lost a lot from it. And yeah, there's just also that last decision that they made. I would have liked to see them contest that 2 of 3 tribute for themselves, but really good game, and I'm super excited we got to see Abathur.
You did get your wish.
Yeah.
The Valeria pick as well as stage dive did a lot to negate the value that could be had. I think what we saw there was Juck Fuuki at their most vulnerable tonight.
Yes.
I think that was their weakest composition. And even at the beginning parts, it actually felt like flexing noobs were poised to get the upper hand towards the mid game. And I think what happened was Juck Fuuki identified that, and they were just like, let's just team fight them. Let's just force them to fight. We'll just out-mechanically skill them. And then we'll just establish the same amount of macro pressure we've been doing all night. And they got the one team fight that they really wanted. And flexing noobs never really got a chance to get back into the game.
No, they didn't. I loved their early game personally. They hit level 10 first. They got the tributes. I'm not sure if they got the first 2, but they definitely were contesting the tributes and doing well with them. And then they decide to blow the ultimate evolution and take their boss in basically a manner that had Juck Fuuki saying like, oh crap, like what do we do with this sort of thing, right? And like that was all really, really well done by flexing noobs. It was just that mid to late game that fell apart. So they just got to keep practicing that. And honestly, I feel like that's the hardest thing to master, especially with a composition that relies on macro prowess during middle to late game. Like it's so difficult to make those sort of decisions. So if flexing noobs just keeps it up, they keep playing drafts like that, I think they're going to see a bright future.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them. We've heard from our good old-fashioned argue. Looks like Juck Fuuki have been laying waste to their opponents ahead of the rest of the bracket. So we're going to see who they'll be taking on in the round of 4. It'll be Firm Handshake or East Coast Revolvers. The winner of that will then go on to the finals. Flame is Lame is waiting to see the victor of Who Is This Team versus TQ. So Who Is This Team was able to take down the new guys. Season 1 finalists. So a new challenger emerges. If you have not yet donated $1 to the prize pool, HH Tempo 2, you put that in over the Matcherino page, add $1 to the prize pool. These teams are definitely putting in effort.
For
They'd
sure.
appreciate the support. My name is Lauren, been joined by the Fox of Hots, Kyle himself. We're going to take a short break. Don't you go anywhere. Be back in about 10 minutes, I'd say, maybe sooner. Don't go anywhere. Hey, welcome back, everyone. My name is Lauren, joined by the Fox of Hots himself, Kala, and we are entering into round 4, semifinals. Firm Handshake and East Coast Revolvers are still duking it out. The winner of that matchup will go on to play Juck Fuuki, the team we followed all evening. So in the meantime, we're going to jump over to the other side of the bracket. TQ will be taking on Flame is Lame, the winners of last week's Heroes Hype Tempo Storm Series, the premier North American amateur tournament, the mainstay. Been crazy, been great. All right, let me
Where you see all types of exciting and wild drafts alike.
First pick Rainer.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right. Yeah. We are going to jump right into it. We will be on Cursed Hollow.
Perfect. Again.
Flame is Lame. Enjoy the luxuries of first pick, first ban. I'm letting them know that we are ready, because I know you guys are too. I don't know if I gave a shout out or not, but Valera resub to the channel. Big shout out to you. Thank you for that. And also, I think it might have gotten muted at the beginning of the night, but if you head over to heroeshype.com, you get to catch up on the latest news. Flag 5 did a really good recap of last week's all of North American amateur action across the open division here at Heroes Hype, as well as some draft trends and picks and things like that. So if you're looking up your game and better understand the meta, Flag 5 has you covered. So congratulations. Thanks for doing that, Flag 5.
So I'm expecting to maybe see something a little bit different out of this draft. Yeah, okay, perfect. I didn't expect to see the Mouth Ale first ban this time. So I don't know, it just doesn't seem Flame is Lame's flavor, or perhaps they're looking at picking it up. So Genji being hovered for a counter ban, which is going to open up Mouth Ale to this draft, which is exciting.
Yeah, I want to see some Mouth Ale personally.
Yeah, me too.
The Gungan could potentially get banned out here. Dude, I was cracking up on Twitter the other day.
Good. The names get worse and worse, or better and better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How thinking?
Yeah.
29 seconds before they decide to ban out somebody, TQ's like, well, I don't know, man. Who should we ban? I think Genji's the ban, man. I don't know if anyone talks like that. I'm just...
I mean, they
switch
might.
over to Dahaka? Take the global presence off the board.
Yep.
I get it. But Flame is Lame. They definitely know what to do with Genji. So the current meta, it's tough, man. Who do you want to give over to the enemy team?
I mean, actually, Dahaka being hovered here. If Dahaka gets banned off, then that means Genji, Malthael, Uther, all available. Only a Nubarak taken off the table. So what do you first pick? And it is Genji.
Gungo shows up. Gungo makes his appearance, first pick. Roll Flame is Lame. Malthael's on the board. Uther's on the board. Seen Uther not make it to the second ban phase all night, some capacity or another. I imagine that trend could very well continue here, Colin.
It absolutely could. Yeah, like you said, Malthael, Uther, or you 1-2 Green Main Abathur and say, I see your meta and you can keep it. I like it. My team has done that before, where you just 1-2 Green Main Abathur because you're worried about getting the Abathur past the second ban phase, or your opponent's picking it up in the 2-3. So I actually like that.
Wandering Keg Chin.
Ooh.
The Temple Storm staple.
True. Yeah.
Oh, I love Chin, man. So when I saw that this past weekend, I was like, hey.
Uther Malthael, is it? Please? I want to see
Malthael and Genji could be an interesting prospect. You don't necessarily have a ton of burst immediate kill pressure.
It's true. But later on in those team fights, you remember when we saw it last week? Like, Malthael would get so many people low, and then Genji would just drop the Dragon Blade and start killing everybody. It was so cool. Yeah. But Stitch is picked up instead. I think the Kael'thas ban is quite heads up, so we'll see if they decide to lock in with it.
Yeah, because imagine Stitch's hook, stun from Uther, gravity lapse.
Yeah, that's tough.
You don't come back from that normally.
No.
So Li Ming is going to be switched over as the hover, so Kael'thas could still be a thing. Definitely get some work done. These are tight corridors, chain bomb could spread and everything else. A little bit of indecision, it seems like. They're going to jump over to Arthas now?
Yeah. Arthas is kind of interesting because that's actually more of a ban towards themselves. Because Arthas Greymane with Abathur on Cursed Hollow is like, it's like the macro trinity in my opinion. Like you can clone either of those targets and it just makes for a very scary force if you're TQ. So I'm not too sure about the Arthas ban, but they decided to go with it anyways. Perhaps they're looking at picking up another like auto attack heavy hero or something like that. So
what that says to me, the Illidan ban,
yeah.
with Abathur early on the board, you got to consider that. The Arthas ban makes me think that TQ is looking for Varian, mainly.
Or they were looking for the Illidan. So either of those.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, there's a lot of value to be had out of Arthas. You slow down Stitches, he's never getting away. All of his engagements have to lead to success, or you're going to have a pretty decent time. I just feel like it's got to be Varian in one of these two choices here.
Definitely a possibility.
Especially against the Gugu. And they're going to just...
Oh, I love the Tyrael Kael'thas. This is actually so good. I'm liking the draft from TQ. They were hovering the ban for the Kael'thas earlier, but then they decided to switch over to the Arthas, which actually made me think that they were going to look at picking up Illidan, but then, of course, the response Illidan ban, and now they decided to go with KT Tyrael. So it's going to be difficult to kill this Kael'thas, that's for sure. But, if there's anyone who can do it, it's certainly Genji.
Now, Kala, you can't see my facial expression, but those in the audience, thanks for being here, by the way. You would have noted my immediate skepticism over the whole Kael'thas Tyrael 3-4 selection for TQ. I
Really?
don't know how they lock anybody down long enough. Like, Kael'thas has to land devastating gravity lapses. I generally just do not enjoy warrior comps, or comps where a solo warrior does not have a stun or some kind of lockdown in their base kit.
So let me throw a few things at you to try to change your mind, if I may. Okay, Medivh is actually an interesting pick here. It's both good objectively and it's bad into Kael'thas because it forces your team to stack up. The Malthael, I think, is actually perfect, and he's going to be so hard to kill with the likes of Uther and Medivh on his roster. However, Tyrael on this map is super good because of Holy Ground, right? His boss control is really, really good. And as well as they're picking the Tyrael, I think, because they don't want a stun warrior into the Uther. And that can work really well. It's just they're kind of banking on Tyrael positioning himself on the other side of the opponents and locking down one target, and then basically all the damage coming out from Kael'thas and Greymane at that point. I don't even think they picked Kael'thas for the value from Gravity Lapse. They picked it because of the stitches.
That's fair. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy Tyrael as a hero. I think he's a lot of fun to play, and I think he's very strong, not only in general, but in the current meta. But when you're dealing with the lockdown of a hook, the stun from Uther, Malthael's going to be able to teleport anyone trying to run away. I'd imagine we would see the increased Wraith Strike range. That's my preferred talent at level 1 at least.
Yeah.
But ooh. I didn't even think about it, Colin.
What?
Milk carton. The milk carton, man.
There you go.
Flame is lame. Compliments to the chef on this composition.
True. Nice. Because Stitches.
Stitches wants to play, man.
Oh, but he's Bikini Stitches, not sous chef Stitches. No. You said compliments to the chef.
He wandered away from the pool party.
True. And it's Shot Stitches.
I see what you did there.
Shot Stitches showed up last week, right?
Big time. We had a chance to speak with Shot after last week's incredible best of 3, and he confirmed suspicions that his Legend's been doing a shot calling now, and it's definitely enabled him to have a really good time on this hero. But the winner of this makes it to the finals. Over on the left side, it's going to be Flame is Lame. Shot is on that Stitches. Deadly Ice is playing Malthael. Dark Chimera, the support on Uther. Legend will be playing Medivh, and Trap Queen will need healing, presumably, at some point.
And on the right in red is TQ. We've got Waddle on the Abathur, Renray playing Rhaegar, Woven on that Greymane, Fatal on Kael'thas, and Redian on Tyrael. Let me say, their names are so sweet on TQ, and also, this is like one of my favorite drafts that I've ever seen in Heroes Hype so far. This is my style of draft. I absolutely love it, so you're going to see a lot of bias coming up from me, even if they don't win.
When you have the approval of the Fox of Hots, the Kitsune of Heroes, community coach, neighborhood-friendly Kalamalka, you can't go too wrong. We'll see how TQ handles themselves with the comp that's been approved. Dark Chimera hanging out by themselves. Well, no, they got Legend. They got backup.
Medivh just flying around, scouting out the opponents of TQ, just seeing how they're setting up their lanes and stuff like that. We do see a little bit of a battle going in the top side. Got Deadly Ice playing that Malthael. He showed up last week on the Mouth as well. Like, he played super well. But into the 1v1, I actually think this probably goes over to Malthael as long as he's able to play it properly.
Yeah, he has Stain, Greymane doesn't. So as long as he plays it safely, to some degree, should be fine. Dark Chimera finds herself at 50% health already. Trap Queen owns the Chain Bomb, uses the Deflect to negate the damage there. Dark Chimera getting a good amount of poke putting on him, though. Showing some lethality are the members of TQ.
Yeah, both of these teams just posturing up, saying, I'm not scared of you, you know? Flame is Lame has the Medivh to negate a lot of the damage potential from TQ, and TQ just has the raw dueling power. So when you see Legend on the Medivh rotating up, shot in the mid lane, just clearing everything out. Meanwhile, Abathur is just body soaking mid if it ever crashes in, and just looking to hat whoever he can to just help them out. We also see in the top lane that both of these taps have gone.
I really want to highlight and emphasize the Abathur selection here. One thing that we didn't see that much last game was the mines getting a ton of value. Like, I only saw Kevin get knocked out of stealth one time because of the mines, so I'm wondering if we'll see that have more of an impact. But also that will help Woven out. Having that shield will give him a lot of sustain.
And could definitely see him going that build. Level 4 is going to come online for both of these teams right now. A little bit of an experience lead going over to Flame is Lame early here. Perhaps a few minions missed by the Abathur, but man, this top lane is just so even. We also see TQ looking at picking up their siege camp, and Flame is Lame looking to rotate in.
Yeah, Legend is all the wiser floating overhead. It feels bad when Medivh is just floating over you and just like, I see what you're doing, guy. Like, hi. Woven putting the screws to Deadly Ice. I mean, to have no sustain, they're getting the most value possible out of these regen globes. They got it.
Yep. So some of that soak that went missing is because we saw Woven on the Greymane getting the hat from Abathur over, and actually the rotate comes over. Woven actually probably going to be able to escape this one with the Q and the E, but is there the portal play? Oh! Not quite. Almost.
Woven light on his feet, manages to avoid the damage from Legend. Because once you saw that portal go down, you know Woven was like, guys, I could use a little bit of help here. But he is able to escape. Renray gets hooked thanks to Shot, interrupting the tribute channel there. Renray is back to business, though. Shot steps forward along with Dark Chimera. There's a portal. Chain Bomb isn't going to spread. No one's really getting too amphibious. No heavy leaps.
Now, Flame is Lame do have to step up and try to force on this objective, because look at bottom lane. Like, there is the Abathur plus this siege camp pushing. So Flame is Lame looking to pull the trigger here.
Shot stepping forward, not going to spread the Chain Bomb. Ready in, knocked down a half health. There's a portal for the cheeky engagement. Chain Bomb again passed on to Stitches. Flame Strike for the interrupt. Ready and jumps in. There's the heavy engagement. Medivh waves goodbye.
And Shot also looking like he's going down. No shields available for him from the Medivh. So that's 2 for nothing. Meanwhile, Abathur pushing ruthlessly on this bottom lane with the siege camp. And Lauren, like, this is what I'm talking about. They had to pull that trigger and they had to win that fight. But Kael'thas just doing so much damage with the stacked group that is Flame is Lame.
Kala, would you say that the members of Flame is Lame found Kael'thas' flame to, in fact, be lame?
You're so funny.
It had to be done, but it's true. Kael'thas really put a lot of pressure on the Flame is Lame, and Flame is Lame looked at the map and they're like, we're losing everything in the bot lane thanks to this siege camp. Abathur's pushing as well. Like, we gotta try to make something happen. Forces their hand, they step in, they lose the team fight, so they lose out on both fronts.
Yeah, that was a really good job by TQ to, like, both, you know, RNG was a little bit in their favor, right? Because they got their siege camp, and Flame is Lame didn't, and of course the spawn was top. So Abathur gained literally maximum value there. That couldn't have been a better situation for the Abathur composition. And so we don't see any emphasis on the mines as you were hoping. So we do see the Adrenal Overload at 4 and Needle Spine at 7 from the Abathur. Aside from that, pretty much standard builds across the table. Master's Touch now online for the Medivh, so look to watch him try to stack that up in these longer team fights.
Jury's still out. Nope. Cleanse is going to be the selection for Uther. I was curious to see where they were going to go with that. Second tribute of the game, bottom right corner of the map. Bottom fort, seeing a good amount of damage thanks to the siege camp from earlier. Hat build, getting some value. Ready and looking to jump in. There he goes. Q's in. There's the force of will. Gravity lapse just misses. The hook over the wall. Red and Ray finds himself a long way from home. Trap Queen tries to jump in on him. But ultimately, surprise, it's going to be Shot going down first.
And there's the value from the Kael'thas. Now, Woven found himself caught out and tries to trade with Deadly Ice, but it isn't quite enough. They're ready and now doing damage onto the Genji with the Abathur hat. Meanwhile, Abathur sitting up top, body soaking this lane, gaining a massive amount of value for TQ. And the members of TQ are also just chunked out. This is the 3v4 situation. Dark Chimera taking a bit of damage from the Living Bomb. Radiant goes back in with the hat. Now Trap Queen diving onto the back line too. Looking at the Regard. Living Bomb again. The Protect is enough to save him.
Both of these teams are showing resiliency and prowess under pressure. Radiant could jump forward. That could be an interesting prospect with no mana. But this team fight has waged on for so long that Shot comes back with a full out bar and mana. Rhaegar gets sent back to base, forcibly, might I add. Radiant goes in, gets the interrupt. It's going to cost him his face, potentially. There he goes. He blows up an Uther. Jumps into the portal. Deadly Ice is going to drop, though. Uther caught between a rock and a hard place. 2 heroes down on both sides. This fight is waging on forever.
Yeah, it certainly is, and there's like the value that Abathur is getting out of the top lane. Now the top fort is completely drained, and that's just a 1-for-1 on the tributes. Level 10's showing up very soon for TQ, and honestly, if that fight went a little bit differently, like TQ would have pulled out so far ahead there, but great job by Flame is Lame to stay resilient and wait for that Stitches to show back up, and you know, even though the tribute was in an unfavorable position for them, they pulled out, I would say, you know, pretty much ahead on that one, managing to secure themselves the tribute, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the level lead does go over to TQ, and I feel like that was a team fight that in a lot of ways Flame is Lame had to take. Like, that was for principle.
Yeah.
They're losing out on macro play. They got to try to get some kind of win on the board. So they get the team fight. It does cost them quite a bit, though.
Dark Chimera gets stunned out by the gravity lapse. Now the body blocks are there, but is it enough damage to kill the Uther? Level 10's now available. Oh, he wasn't able to Divine Shield it.
Ray jumps in, gets the takedown on Uther, turns into a ghost, sustaining his teammates for the moment before he explodes. Woven's going to be able to get out of there. Trap Queen, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we'll get the siege camp back in the mid lane. Chain Bomb is going to get negated by the force of will. Nicely timed by a legend. Both of these teams have their heroics now, so this tribute that's showing up is going to be spicy.
Yeah, and we already see, Flame is Lame actually decides to pull Genji up. So again, this siege camp bottom lane is just gaining a crazy amount of value here. Both these teams looking to step up. They're positioning to contest for this tribute, and both level 10s online for, level 10s online for both of these teams. So again, I'm expecting a bit of a fight here, but Shot managing to get most of the channel.
Not the hero you thought would be the one channeling, but there was no forward advancement from TQ. I feel like Flame is Lame, they're just trying to make it to the late game. They're winning these team fights on the micro level, but the macro's costing them quite a bit. Once these death timers are longer, 40, 50 seconds, they can get a lot more value out of winning these team fights.
You're absolutely right. TQ, the onus was on them to step up way harder there. And unfortunately, because of the positioning on that tribute, you know, it was super advantageous for Flame is Lame, and they were able to step up into the right positions, block off any of the rotations from TQ. And so now that you actually see a Flame is Lame with 2 out of 3 for their tribute. And next one is going to be Curse Point.
Shot eating a good amount of harass, uses E to sustain himself. Curse Bullet goes out. Dark Chimera's like, oh, okay. Waddle steps forward on the clone, doesn't get too much value out of that. There's the portal. The hook is going to grab a minion, not the intended target. Of that, I am certain. Deadly Ice, low on health. Dark Chimera has the mana and sustain to change that story, though. No takedowns.
A little bit of unfortunate circumstances there for TQ. Genji did show on the wave bottom, which meant that was the best case Ontario team fight for TQ, and they weren't able. Darn it, they weren't able to get the fight that they were looking for there. So expecting both these teams again to show up here. The ultimate evolution not available until 15 more seconds. So I would expect TQ to try to step up and perhaps stall out, waiting for that cooldown.
Absolutely. There's a lot on the line for both teams. The Curse would definitely help Flame is Lame make their way across the other side of the map for the first time in this game. TQ doesn't want all that to happen. There's the Heroic getting huge value. Divine Shield as well. Mouthfeel is going off. Greymane will get taken down. The Dragon becomes Trap Queen, who jumps in. The Ancestral Healing hits at the last possible second, but there's a Leyline Seal. Leaves the clone hung out to dry. Shot is going to be low on health. Taken down. Putrid Bile not enough. Couldn't go fast enough.
Not quite there. Shot put, it was a little bit of an ambitious play there. Redian actually going in again on the Eldruins, but he's definitely going down there. Looking to maybe pick up a kill here. Force of Will comes out and protects. Renray now diving in on that doggo, and he goes down as well. Now Fatal is looking safe.
Redian was just like, guys, what if I just YOLO in here?
Yeah.
What if I just jump off this top rope and see what happens? I mean, TQ were in a tough spot. I feel like they had one of two options there. One, they give up the tribute, they get cursed. The other option two, go in there, die, and then give up the tribute and get cursed. I just feel like they should have just backed away.
Definitely. Waddle now caught a little bit on the Abathur, but the percent damage is not going to be... absolutely going to be enough. I forgot about the curse. Oh my gosh. And now the rest of TQ, are they going to get found out? They actually decide to let the boss leash off. Oh no, that's a huge misstep for TQ. They lose their Abathur and they get the boss leashed. That's not the hot there, Haloran.
Gamble and lose. Because
Yeah.
I thought it was something of a cheeky play to go for that boss one way or the other. I mean, it would have been nice to sneak that one away, but losing Abathur, if they got spotted over that boss, they could have gotten wiped. Woven was already low. That could have gotten way out of hand. I don't know if I agree with going for the boss at all, but I think they had to back away then.
So it's the more... See, like, all of the percentage damage that Malthael puts out, I didn't expect him to kill Abathur that fast. That was actually quite surprising to me. So actually a little bit of a skirmish now breaking out over the boss pit. Some of Flame is Lame taking a little bit of damage from AoE, but nothing too substantial. Now, 16 is going to be coming in pretty soon for Flame is Lame. They're probably just going to look to safely play this next little bit of the game here to see if they can get that and then force a fight for themselves. But TQ just slightly missing their plays on some of these tributes that would have, pushed themselves into a very, very significant advantage.
Yeah, they just make some greedy, arguably short-sighted plays. Like, they dove in, they tried to interrupt that tribute for the curse. It cost them a couple of heroes to get cursed anyway. They go for the boss. The timing of that was interesting, to say the least. Doesn't pay off for them there. Up until those 2 points, though, they were very much on even footing, and I think that's where we start to see a difference between different calibers of teams and hero type. Some teams like to make those gutsy, high-risk, medium reward plays, and it costs them. Some stay the course, like we see Flame is Lame, and it gets them ahead.
And now we do see Master's Touch. I think it's been finished for a little bit now. Whoa, the Ultimate Evolution comes out immediately. I don't think that was a misclick. I think perhaps they're just looking at pressuring boss with it, but that's almost dead now. Maybe it was.
No, Medivh showed up in the top lane, and Waddle was like, I don't want to be around.
Is that
for
it? Did
all
he
this.
do it to save himself? Yeah,
it was a full panic maneuver. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I didn't even see where Medivh was at that point. I just saw him, force that cooldown, and now boss is actually being traded out. Is this the Leyline steal?
The Leyline steal. Well played.
You like that one?
I as it happens, Kyle, I do. Level 16 is head for Flame is Lame. Trap Queen's gonna go ahead, knock down a good amount of the health on one of the siege things, negating the overall value to be head there. But without their level 16s, TQ's gonna be playing it a little safe.
Yep, they definitely can't step up and contest this one whatsoever. So both these bosses pushing in. This is actually a decent situation to be in if you're TQ, because they're not forcing any fights out on the map, 15 to 16, which is good for them. They have something pushing top, which is going to get a little bit of damage onto this wall, and they're able to just group up safely and take down the enemy boss. So this is actually like best case situation if you are TQ. And now, honestly, this game is still anyone's, right? This is 1-for-1 on the tributes. Level 16 is going to, like I said, available for both teams for this next fight. And this is TQ's chance to be like, hey, we're on even footing. We're going to take you guys in a team fight.
Yeah, that was definitely best case Ontario. I mean, what you want to do is slow down the overall advance of the enemy team when you're down to talent tier. That boss gave Flame is Lame something to think about, and the stalling gesture was enough. Now TQ are on even talent tiers. This next team fight's going to be important. There's the hook. The stun follow-up goes in. Renray tries to get the heck out of dodge. The Divine Shield after the Curse Bullet. Putrid Ball's going to go down. Renray, a potential target. Trap Queen emerges from the depths of the shadows and goes to town.
Ryujin no Kenmo Kurea, and now everybody's dead.
Grey Lane falls flat on his face. That's going to be 3 takedowns and the clone. Oh, no, the clone didn't get used.
Looking for more.
Trap Queen.
Yeah, clone got used there. Clone got used for sure.
Did?
Yep. Okay, so this is the same thing that we saw last game with the Abathur that I would like to see teams just, they need to relax a little bit. Like, there was no reason for TQ to force a fight there with Clone, especially in a situation where they're just like in the middle of a lane like that. Like, generate the lane pressure, get Abathur out on the map, trying to push these lanes out, force Flame is Lame to either take a fight or lose something on the map with the Abathur. But again, we're not seeing that one. We're just seeing the raw 5v5 fights in open areas, and Flame is Lame really benefits from that, right? Like, Kael'thas wants closed in areas so that he can get off all of his W procs on multiple heroes, but the win conditions for TQ in their team fights just are not being met.
Yeah, I mean, their decisions are, I would say, plucky in nature.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they understand their overall situation. You can tell that. But it just seems like, I don't know, I think what we're seeing here is the growth and development of a new team. Like,
absolutely, me too.
You know, there are nerves involved in this situation. You know, it's easy for us to objectively and, everyone watching be like, oh, this is the right call. They probably shouldn't have done this. But when you're a newer team and you're going up against the likes of Flame is Lame, like, these are no slouches. So I just think nerves are starting to get to them. But another team fight goes in. There's the force of will. This could be the time for Fatal to step in and do some damage. But they decide to back away. Gravity laps for disengage. Holy ground as well. Another curse potentially.
See, this is like, oh, that was a really good portal just to gain positional advantage there. That was actually such a fantastic portal. Nice job. So now Flame is Lame does have positioning on TQ, and it puts them in a little bit of an odd situation.
Yeah, Flame is Lame are pretty much Jason Voorhees. TQ thought they got away, and they come around the corner, and suddenly everyone's here. There's a huge sanctification, though, preserving health bars. Leyline Seal goes in. Medivh had 20 health. Somehow able to get out of there. Dark Chimera keeping his teammates alive in a clutch manner, I would say. Rinray's going to get taken down. Rhaegar, Kael'thas goes down. Trap Queen getting cooldown resets. Zipping and zagging all over the faces of TQ. It's insane.
That was such a close fight, and look at bottom lane too. Like, this is what I mean by wait for the Abathur to generate pressure. If that fight lasted like any longer or was a little bit slower, like this would have threatened keep. That was 3 minion waves plus Siege and Abathur Locust pushing down. But then, Flame is Lame and TQ had the fight there in the jungle, and it was actually so close to Lauren. Like, all of those living bombs spreading was just about enough to decimate Flame is Lame. We saw Medivh get down to like 10-15% health, right? Like, it was so close. But Flame is Lame. Out team fight, everybody survives, and now they're looking at 4.
Shot is able to keep himself alive. This should be game. Core's down to 40%. Kael'thas does show up, though. These are pretty low health bars. We might not be out of the woods just yet. Can't get the Flame Strike. Can't get the overwhelming amount of AoE damage. So it is going to be GG. Flame is Lame returns to the grand finals.
I loved the way TQ played the early game. Flame is Lame responded to it super well. They played reserved. Medivh didn't die. He stacked up his Master's Touch at a decent time. And then just the team fighting from Flame is Lame was actually fantastic. For most of the time, they waited out the Sanctification. Then the Genji showed up on the backside. You remember that fight around mid specifically? Yeah. We saw the Dragon Blade come out after the Sanctification, and then he was just able to clean up. And it was that Malthael Dragon Blade combo that we were talking about, right? Like, the D shield usually went out on the Malthael because he just like dove onto the back line, got his passive rolling on a whole bunch of heroes, mashed his Q button, basically got everybody down super low, and then Genji cleaned up. So really good composition from Flame is Lame too. I like the way that they play it, especially. You can tell they're practiced on it, and their team fighting that game was just fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking back at the replay of it now. That was an insane team fight to really decide things. I kid you not, Colin. Legend actually had like 20 health. Like, you can see it with the Aliabs, how much health they have when it's super low. And Flame is Lame,
right?
They're an amazingly skilled team. That is no question. But it takes a little bit of luck for you to be 20 health against Chain Bomb and all the AoE damage and everything else was going on in an absolute maelstrom to come out alive. I mean, TQ put up a heck of a showing. Like we were alluding to during the game, though, it just seems like, they're newer. They just need that.
You're totally right about that. 17. They were like 17.9 in terms of their experience. I wonder if they're level 18, if that would have been enough damage to push it over the edge and kill multiple members of Flame is Lame. because that's like, what is that, like 5 seconds of Abathur being on your team, right? Like getting to that level 18. If that fight happened 18 to 19 instead of 19 to 17, I think that TQ may have won it, or at least got a pick or two off of it.
Now, bear in mind, Flame is Lame is a team that has aspirations to breaking their way into the HGC.
Yeah.
And we've seen them the past couple of weeks now, and they've shown, I mean, exhibits A and B for why that's a very realistic possibility. So if I'm TQ, to feel like I lost that team fight because I was 18.9,
That's pretty good.
I can't feel too bad if I'm TQ.
No.
I can't feel too bad at all. For a composition that relied strictly on Kael'thas for lockdown, they did a heck of a lot better than I thought they would. That's just me.
Yeah, me too. Like, I thought the draft went really well for both teams. They both got what they wanted, especially with TQ, like 1-2ing the Abathur Greymane. Usually you don't get a comp that's that strong when you early pick those heroes, but they did, and they played it really well. And Flame is Lame also got everything that they wanted, and they played it really well too. And what's most exciting is the fact that Genji and Malthael both showed up.
Big
awesome
time.
Heroes. Yeah.
I mean, Trap Queen's Ganjo. Whew.
Yeah.
It's tough to deal with, but that will be the end of the road for TQ. I really hope we see them in the future weeks. They put on a heck of a performance. Bear in mind, the new guys were in the finals, Series 1. They go down to who is this team? Who is this team plays TQ, and TQ bests them. So the amateur scene, yeah. So to consider that they made it this far to be a newer team to Heroes Hype is, to say the very least, impressive.
Yeah, that's actually super sweet. Nice job, boys.
On the other side of the bracket, Firm Handshake and Juck Fuuki are dueling it out to see who will face Flame is Lame in the best of 3 grand finals. Firm Handshake had one of the most insane best of 3s you can imagine against Flame is Lame last week. I know they'd love to take another run at them. But Juck Fuuki, man, they're wild. They're going to be tough to deal with. So I would love to see how that shakes out. But while we wait for that game, we're going to take a short break, 5 minutes thereabouts. Don't go anywhere. My name is Lauren, joined by the Fox of Hots himself, Colin. Don't you go anywhere. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We've done it. We've made it to the grand finals. My name is Lauren. I'm joined by Fox of Hots himself, Colin. Shout out to Choo Choo Train for resubbing, by the way. Now, Colin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take a moment, if you don't mind. I might, I don't mean to admonish. If you don't know what that word is, go ahead and consult your local Dr. Google. But we're going to see a rematch of Firm Handshake up against Flame is Lame. Now, we saw Juck, Fuuki. They looked very convincing with a wide variety of compositions and approaches to that new game, Hero Storm, that just came out. But we've heard from one of our admins, Mantis. Shout out to you and hello, by the way. Juck, Fuuki took Nova.
What?
In the game that they lost to against Firm Handshake. Now, you and I, we've been talking about this for 2 weeks now. Mm-hmm. Heroes Hype is not the place anymore to just show up and throw dice at the wall and take whatever composition you feel fancy enough to take.
Not if you want to win.
Not if you want to win.
Not if you want to win.
That team Definitely features... 2 Heroes of the Dorm winners, brothers. We saw what they could do.
Yeah,
that's a good team. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Firm Handshake. They're equally a strong team, and they have they deserve just as much to have this rematch. Not surprised to see them there at all. But I would say,
I'm stoked. But
right. So either way, we win. We as casters and you guys, sports fans in the back, we all win. But I'm just saying. You take Nova in Heroes Hype, you might find yourself watching the rest of the series just like us.
Bible thump. Bible thump. It's true though.
I'm just putting it out there. Bad. I love those guys. I know them well, but you take Could you imagine how Firm Handshake had to feel? Like, they're looking at the draft and all they hear is locked and loaded. And they're probably like...
Wait, did you watch much of Midseason Brawl when E-Star picked Nova on Braxis? Yeah, that was a wild game.
And it went.
Didn't win. But that was actually, that's Nova's, I thought that was a pretty good way of playing her, right? Like they had Judgment Material, and then they wanted the mouth, but they never got it. It was into the mouth. But that was pretty funny the way they played it. And then they played it with a Chromie, pretty funny. But Nova not so hot, man. Let me tell you.
You can only stretch that rubber band, but so far before it's gonna snap in your face.
Yeah, for sure.
But like you said, man, stoked is a very good word for it. I look forward to seeing this. Firm Handshake put on an amazing performance last week, as did Flame is Lame. I thought it could really go either way. But we're going to see the old remix. Getting into the lobby now. Tomb of the Spider Queen was selected by Flame is Lame. So it'll be Firm Handshake. Enjoying the luxuries of first pick, first ban.
Okay.
Just waiting on one person to jump in. There's Dark Chimera himself.
See, okay, what I really like about this is both of these teams value similar comps, right? Like D-Steves loves the Genji. Heyo's favorite support is Uther. But then you also see that on the other side. Like Trap Queen plays a lot of Genji. Deadly Ice is loving the Malthael right now. And we've also seen Firm Handshake value it. So both these teams value similar heroes in the draft. So actually, there's going to be an element of outdrafting here just in terms of them both looking at similar comps. So that's exciting to see. And both these teams just play so well, into each other. It's such a close matchup every time.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Deadly Ice actually 1v5 people on Infernal Shrines last week with Malthael.
Yeah.
That is going to ring a bell for the members of Firm Handshake, I'm sure. But you're exactly right, man. I mean, both of these teams have similar hero pools, or at the very least, we've seen them do very amazing things with very similar heroes.
Yeah.
We are ready here. My whole body is ready. letting them know that.
My body is ready.
I mean, without any further ado, welcome to the Spike.
I love this map, man. This map really shows just what a team's capable of when it comes to their 4-man rotation and when it comes to their objective prioritization, because statistically speaking, the team with the first turn-in manages to win the game. So I just place so much emphasis on power of your rotation, power of just being able to secure turn-ins like the first turn in with your comp. So I want to see which one of these teams ends up getting the first turn in, because I do think it's super important, and it's the way you play your first turn in as well that's equally important. So I love this map for that reason. It really shows the kind of skill level of a team just by watching how they played with their first web weavers.
I agree, man. I mean, both of these teams have shown they know how to snowball a game out of control. We've seen them in situations where their opponents are toe-to-toe with them, right up until Heroics, around level 12, maybe even 13. But once that one mistake happens, they put foot to throat, and they don't let go until we're talking about the game post-mortem.
Wait a second. Is Flame is Lame, did they ban Ariel, or is that from Handshake banning Ariel?
Firm Handshake on the right.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure my observer was proper, because last week we saw Flame is Lame banning off Ariel a whole bunch. So Flame is Lame looking at their bans here. They see Firm Handshake. What are they going to look to take off the table with Ariel gone? So they do decide the Uther. They see Heyu and they're like, yeah, you're not getting Uther. Sorry, man.
Yeah, Heyu's like, I don't know, like, is it a feels good man or feels bad man when, like, your reputation precedes you and you're just like, that band had my name all over it. I wonder if we're going to see the old Goo Ganjum?
Gorgon.
See old Gorgon show up?
Gosh, I love that.
Yeah, Gumdrop shows up.
Oh my gosh. Gumdrop with the Dragon Blade.
Oh, and it is. And it's Lego Block Genji. I don't like that skin color.
Me either, man.
Like, it's just like this
purple,
neon,
orange, and green. Are you kidding me?
It's vibrant.
It's the tilt color combination.
Yeah,
so Genji picked up.
Genji.
I wonder. I don't think they can leave Malthael till last picks again. But this is one of Stitches' best maps, and it's been working for Flame is Lame. So I'd expect to see Stitches actually come out in the 1-2. Even like I said, Stitches Malthael, or perhaps they may even look at picking up something that goes well with one of those heroes. Actually, Uther's off the table. Malfurion's been nerfed. I'm just going to sit there just with the one pick there. I expect Stitches, but I think Stitches Malthael would work for this team, but we'll see what they end up going with.
I would not be surprised to see Stitches show up in the 1-2 here. Shot's been doing work on him all night and last week, but it does look like Shot will be on a Nubarak, Rhaegar, prioritizing the supports. So unless the support is taken here, it puts the pressure on Firm Handshake quite a bit.
Yep.
To take a support into 2-3. And
I think they should, for
Ariel, and Rhaegar off the board, they're stuck with what? Brightwing, Malfurion?
Yeah. Which, Heyo is super good at Brightwing, but it may not be the support you're looking for, considering you're against the Anubarak, Rhaegar, and just on this map in general, but we'll have to see. Picking up the Rhaegar this early is pretty interesting, but like you said, it does put the pressure on Firm Handshake. I'm just surprised that they didn't go with Stitches. I really am. So yeah, this 2-3, I honestly would like to see something like Malfurion, even though he was nerfed. I still think he's really strong, picked up, just so that they can alleviate some of that pressure going into the next ban phase.
Akali, you didn't see it because you can't see me on webcam. But when you said that it was not the support they were looking for, I did
did you wave your hand?
Of course!
I love you.
Love you
Hey,
too,
Stitches, come on, where's the Malfurion? Just give it to me right now. Okay, they want the Grey Man instead. Fair enough. I see it. I like you.
I guess they were like, hey, we're hosed on supports one way or the other. We may as well get the damage and engage that we want, and we'll just take the scraps later on. And with the Stitches picked up, I'm not at all surprised to see that Malfurion would be the ban of choice. You don't want to get called to the carpet, as I like to call it. That hook root combination.
Now I'm pretty sure it's the immediate Malthael ban. That's what I would be doing for sure in this situation. However, because the Malfurion was banned out, which we did expect, because I was kind of prompting for it to come out in the 2-3. is it going to be the Ariel? Is it going to be the Medic? Is it going to be the Brightwing? Like, is it the Karazim? I don't know if Heyu plays Karazim very much, but we will have to see on that one.
You know, Arthas Morales wouldn't be the worst 4/5 for a firm handshake.
Nope.
I didn't even really consider Morales in his equation. Did a new hero come out?
Yes. What's that red thing? What's that red 4th pick?
I heard, I've seen some concept art.
Someone let fire be purged. I remember that quote from Raiding Molten Core back in World of Warcraft, but I've never seen that hero before. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what its basic kit is.
Yeah. No, but realistically, he does bring a lot of wave clear to this map, so I can see him gaining some value there. Maybe they see the stitches and they're like, okay, we're giving you that first turn in, we're scared, and they're just going to look to 4-stack in one lane and then Molten Core depush the other, and then like make the rotation to try to alleviate as much pressure as they can with that. But in general, like what this Ragnaros has almost no hit confirmed for his ultimate. He's got the Impale from Anubarak and of course the Burrow Charge, but aside from that, Ragnaros isn't really looking very strong in this draft unless we see this last pick something that complements well with him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a serviceable solo laner, but I submit to you that there were other options on the table. We do see Arthas show up as I theorized.
Yeah, good call.
With
okay, there we go.
And here we go again.
So Chromie is good on this map. She doesn't have a crazy amount of wave clear, which I guess is supplemented there with the Ragnaros. So decent pairing. And now, like, if a Nubrak lands a Q at level 10 onto a target, like that's going to be a Sulfur Smash plus Chromie combo, and somebody's going to die. Especially seeing as how Cleanse isn't available until 16 for Firm Handshake. So Firm Handshake, I would say, with the stronger early game draft, but Flame is Lame is, they're actually pretty strong at level 10.
They are, but I feel like Flame is Lame conceptually has more to lose in these team fights. Because, Stitches, the moment he saw Chromie get locked in, it was just like, all right, well, if I pull Chromie, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to burst Chromie down before the Ancestral Healing lands.
Yeah.
But we'll find out. This is it.
That's true.
Grand Finals, best of 3, the remix. Over on the left side is going to be Flame is Lame. Shot is playing a Nubrak. Legend is on Chromie. Trap Queen. We playing Tyrael. Ragnaros is being played by Deadly Ice. And Dark Chimera is playing Rhaegar.
And on the right, in red, is our friends in Firm Handshake. We got Lex Luthor on Stitches. Necromonger's playing the Greymane. Vestige on Arthas. D. Steve's on the Gungan. And Heyu playing Karazim. Okay, all seriousness. Genji, let's go.
Well, we saw Genji, in a lot of ways, buy a ticket for old Flames Lane and make their way to the Grand Finals.
True. You
can believe D. Steves will look to enjoy a similar form of success. All 5 members. There's the hook. There's the root. Gonna be a hair late, so the burrow does kick in. Shot gets out of there, but whew, that damage.
So it's Rhyme picked up for Arthas. He's just looking to try to negate some damage from Bronze Talons, or I wonder why that talent's coming out, because there's not a whole lot of auto attack damage from Flame is Lame, but Chromie gaining some value already. We're seeing her land a lot of her skill shots.
Yeah, especially against Tyrael down in the bottom lane. They may have wanted to hang on to their level 1 talent to see exactly who they'd be squaring off against. I personally anticipated seeing Ragnaros down in the bottom lane, but Flame is Lame has other ideas. There's the Impale, follow up, the burst. There's the burrow, sets up the damage from Chromie. Nicely done there, but there's the hook. Bring him on back. Deadly Ice gets yanked forward. Necromancer jumps in over the wall. No takedowns.
And that's basically going to be a story of this. Like, it's going to be these back and forth fights. If Flame is Lame is able to get a kill, obviously, then the fight's over. But, if they push off Firm Handshake and then Firm Handshake land the hook like that and they're able to capitalize on it, it's going to be scary for Flame is Lame. So they have to look at trying to secure these kills when they push into Firm Handshake, or else they risk getting hooked like that. But both these teams just neck and neck in this early game, Lauren. Only a minute and a half going through, and we're seeing so much damage come out from either team so far.
Greymane puns aside, both of these teams are at each other's throats. I mean, we definitely see the beginnings of a rivalry here. Trap Queen steps forward. Necromongers in Worgen form. Looking to see if he can jump in on somebody. Shots just making sure both teams play nice before rotating up top. Trap Queen, Deadly Ice, find D-Steves and Vestige down bottom. Ragnaros is low. There's the root. D-Steves could look to be a little...
He's going down.
Oh, he goes in. Once Ragnaros was that low, D-Steves was like, green light. First takedown.
I was just about to compliment Firm Handshake on this rotation of sending Genji down like that. And Ragnaros just didn't respect the rotation. He saw Genji on the wave too, but then didn't even walk away immediately. Like, you have to do that. If you get rooted whatsoever, you're basically dead. And we saw that happen exactly there. Lex Luthor now taking quite a bit of damage, looks for the hook, doesn't quite find it. And now I love how both these teams are rotating their solo laners from bottom to mid because they need it in order to do anything in these team fights. And that shows that both these teams are very strong. Dark Chimera now taking a bunch of damage. There goes the Genji and the Greymane, but the perfect impale is enough to de-push the team of Firm Handshake. And
Added movement
gems
speed
also
from
being turned in.
Nice. Added movement speed from Deadly Ice didn't hurt matters either. Ragnaros was like a little close for comfort. But 12 were turned in, 35 in the pockets for Flame is Lame, 23 still in the reserves yet for Firm Handshake. I really like the idea of them switching out the rotations though. It's a constant competency check on both of these teams. Things look very even at the beginning. It was like, all right, let's try to shake things up a little bit and see how you respond to that. Both of these teams feeling each other out.
Yeah, the Earth Ally is also available for Firm Handshake. They choose that one. The hook lands onto Shot, but he's got all of his abilities to escape here. Legend taking a little bit of damage, but yeah, a lot of emphasis on physical defense here for Firm Handshake.
Well, I mean, if I'm Flame is Lame, I'm enjoying every time Shot gets hooked on a noob rack because it's effectively saving him his burrow. He's like, all right, you yank me forward, I throw out Impale, but now I still have added mobility of my burrow just in case things get spicy. But a lot of damage going across the board, across the map. There's the burrow. D-Steve's low on health, needs healing, dashes out.
He traded his full health bar to basically de-push. Or sorry, to stall 2 of those turn-ins. Now Deadly Eyes pushing forward with that meteor, chunking out Heo massively. Lex Uther and Deadly Eyes trading on the top, and now Vestige looks like he's a little bit cut out. The body blocks are there, and Uther is definitely going to go down on this one.
He almost made it out of there. He made as good an attempt as I could have imagined. I was like, Vestige, are you serious with these roots? But ultimately, he does drop 1 for 1 as far as takedowns go. 55 gems in the pockets for Flame is Lame. You know they would love to turn those bad boys in, but I don't think we'll see the first set of Web Weavers until level 7 at the very least. Or you can catch Lex Uther out of position. The Sandblast is going to miss, but it's not going to matter. Stitches goes down.
I'm seeing why we saw the Anubrak over the Stitches, because that's not the only hero that Shot can play. Now the members of Flame is Lame pushing up. They're turning in. Oh, Necromongers actually manages to stall that one. Dark Chimera, Shot, and Trap Queen all looking to turn in, but now the stall from Arthas comes through. So no gems turned in off that pick so far. Dark Chimera actually does manage to get his 13 in, but again, D-Steves is just trading his whole health pool to try to de-push these turn-ins. No Shot getting the top side now.
Yeah, life is a frail thing for D-Steves on Genji, because anytime he hangs out there without Kerosene immediately in the vicinity, he's on notice. Both of these teams do have their level 7 talents now. Subterranean Shield, not surprised to see that. You need that added sustain. Dragon's Eye for more damage. Reciprocate. Standard choices all around, I'd say.
Yep, the Genji picking up the perfect defense too, so some exciting stuff. And of course, the Red Web. Wait, sorry, I was looking at talents. Red Web Weavers got turned in. Was that topside? I was absolutely just looking at talents.
I think
there.
It was. The old Weeb Weavers show up. Woo! Sure,
okay,
Bios in the chat.
I did not expect that whatsoever, but this is really good for Firm Handshake.
Either.
Yeah. So, as I was saying before, it's all about how you deal with this first set of Web Weavers. So, we'll see how Firm Handshake decides to push in these Web Weavers, and we do see Molten Core going out in the mid. Legend also got caught by the hook there, takes half of his life in damage, and Firm Handshake just looking to get as much pressure as they can.
Ragnaros and Molten Core make short work of the Web Weavers in the mid lane. Looks like there's going to be a rotation top of sorts from both teams. Lex Luthor goes fishing, comes up dry. Legend, if they kept rotating up towards top lane, that could have gotten a little interesting for Chromie.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, nice job. D-Steve's blocking all the damage from Chromie. I see why he's going perfect defense now. Web Weaver at half health, and it looks like Flame is Lame is pushing up to try to force a team fight. And maybe they're just looking to de-pushing, but now the members of Firm Handshake are here. The Burrow comes out to survive, and it's just the tower focus now for Firm.
Yeah, I think Flame is Lame is a little tired of playing this game just to see who kicks the can down the road. Normally we see Flame is Lame quite the aggressors overall, but this has been a very much even-tempered match where neither team really feels like seemingly that they can stick their neck too far out there, but there's the rewind, brings them back. There's the deflect, and the E, the dash, saves the day for D-Steves. That was close.
Deadly Ice gets hooked too, and the combination from Greymane is there. Meanwhile, the turn-in just happened bottom side for the Tyrael, and down goes the Ragnaros.
No Ancestral Healing, more problems. There's the Sandblast on the back of Arthas's face for the swift turnaround. 1 for 1. Blue Web. Whoop! Dark Chimera thought it was over. He thought it was over.
I thought I was over it. Nice. That's not good for Flame is Lame. They just got their turn in there, and 2 members died at the same time. So that's going to give Firm Handshake a pretty easy time of de-pushing these Web Weavers. Neither team getting a crazy amount of value off of them. You know, like Firm Handshake did get bot wall and top wall, which is decent, but now Firm Handshake looks like they're going to be able to de-push these without any pressure coming in. Oh, the hook lands on the Legend, and Genji is there for the follow-up.
This
but
has
is
been
it the trade?
Oh, Divine Palm is going to land. The follow-up there. Phoenix Wright impersonation from Ragnaros slams the gabble on the Monk. He gets taken down. Ragnaros is going to fall shortly after, though. The Dragon becomes D-Steve's on the chase, looking for Trap Queen at the very least. There's the Ancestral Healing. The attention then turns to a new Bug finds himself squashed. And Lex Luthor, he really wants to have a conversation with Dark Chimera. He's been landing these hooks all game.
Oh no, that's 27 gems down the drain. Shot lost all of his currency with that fight. And Firm Handshake come up so ahead off of that fight. Holy most feet.
It just seemed like both of these teams were tired. Tired of just playing passively, minding their P's and Q's. They were looking to scrap. Turns into a bloodbath, seesaw battle back and forth. But these hooks from Lex Luthor are getting more value for Firm Handshake than I believe Flame is Lame were anticipating.
Yeah, myself included. You know, when they traded the Anubrak for the Stitches there, I was saying it was actually a really good pick for Shot because he's been playing really, really well. But at this point, I'm not sure if Flame is Lame agree with me.
I mean, something that Firm Handshake aren't going to have to worry about, though. That Sulfur Smash is going to have an impact. That was definitely a difference maker there. Could have been a lot worse overall for Flame is Lame. Ragnaros did go down afterwards. There's a hook. Shot is able to burrow out after that. So no damage done there overall. Looked like he had his well available as well. Red Web Weavers on the way. Firm Handshake looking to rock and roll in the mid lane.
And now 13s are available for Firm Handshake too, so it's going to be difficult for Flame is Lame to take a fight unless they're able to, get some sort of a pick coming out. The Molten Core is there. Legend does get hooked in, but he's able to stasis himself to safety. Lex Luthor now taking a lot of damage as well.
Legend with the sound decision making picks the old Zach Morris timeout. Dark Chimera low on health. There's the Judgment stun.
Yep.
Old Gungan gets taken down. Lex Luthor tries to back away. Trap Queen curling the evil mustache. Has to feel good about that Judgment. I didn't see that one coming.
I mean, that's a 1-for-1, but is it really worth it at this point? Like, bottom lane is being pushed in so far for Firm Handshake, and same with top. Top isn't going to threaten much more, but bottom is definitely taking this for it with the amount of minions that have massed up, and now Legend is definitely caught up. The time trap was perfect, though.
This is one of those.
Nice job. Yeah.
Necromongers showing skill and deft ability. Look at that, man.
He comes out of the bush there and just says, "Greetings, my lady. Take a cocktail." And,
this drink's on me, Chromie.
Oh, let's go, baby. Nice.
Red Web Weavers will claim the first fort of the game, but that one in the bottom for Firm Handshake has seen better days, lowest to say the least. Level 13 right around the corner for Flame is Lame, so they've been taking one on the chin to a degree, but they're not out of this by any stretch.
Yeah, I'm liking the running wild pickup too for the Greymane. Now Firm Handshake did position. They really wanted that mid fort, but now this fight is breaking out and Shot goes in with 20% health, but the rest of Firm Handshake are there. Now Deadly Ice taking a massive amount of damage as well as Trap Queen, and he goes down too. But the even and oh my gosh, Necromongers with the snipe.
Gilnean Cocktail nets another takedown, the 12th in fact for the members of Firm Handshake. Guys, if you were hoping for fireworks and excitement, Exhibit A. I mean, these teams
is playing like a monster.
Necro Monster?
Ooh.
Thinking? I mean, we see very back and forth fever-pitched battles between both of these teams, but Kyle, I submit to you that this is a war that Firm Handshake are winning. Even though it's seemingly they're losing out on some of the battles, that long team fight last time paved the way for a lot of siege pressure. The follow-up team fight, they get the upper hand for sure there. 3 takedowns to 0. Paves the way for 2-level lead thereabouts, and a near tier advantage.
Yep, 16's just about closing in here. And I loved what D-Steve did there. He positioned topside, showed himself on the wave and the fort just to be like, hey, Flame is lame, come rotate onto me. And they send 2 people up. And meanwhile, the rest of Firm Handshake, there are 2 of them, go down to the bottom lane. They pick up the siege camp, which is just creating even more pressure. So, like, what do you do here? Do you go and clear the siege and then lose another fort? Like, do you clear the siege and then lose the boss? Like, it's putting Flame is lame into an awful position here.
It's been really tough. I mean, Flame is lame. The judgment is cheeky. There's the burrow, which is also cheeky. Legend goes fishing with the old Dragon Sandblast combination. Doesn't really work out. There's the hook. Just misses from Lex Luthor. Shot would have had burrow one way or the other. But
like that.
Oh.
Sorry, but like right like there, they sent 4 down to get siege, and now Firm Handshake are like, okay, sure, we trade you clearing siege for us getting a boss. So in the long run, what they actually did was they got siege, which got them a boss. So incredible play from Firm Handshake. And remember when I was talking in draft that Flame is lame don't have a lot of hit confirmation for the Chromie or for Ragnaros. I think that's why they went Judgment, just so that they can, pretty much get a guaranteed Sulphurous Smash or guaranteed Chromie combination.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a very aggressive team. It definitely suits their play style. It just hasn't been paying off for them just yet. I mean, they got a takedown off of it earlier, but they got to come away with their very lives after getting some of these takedowns, or else they're going to continue to see themselves struggle. The Web Weavers are a pure defensive gesture to just slow down the advance of Firm Handshake and try to make a play for level 16.
Yep. The Flame is lame are on a timer here. Oh, the hook lands on a legend. He does have his stasis, but does come out. And now the rest of Flame is lame is here, but this is a 15-17 horn.
The Zach Morris timeout leaves Chromie in a weird spot. Legend is ultimately able to get out of there. The cocoon was there for the disengage as well. Vestige just misses the root. And like I said, this Web Weaver, it wasn't designed to get siege pressure or necessarily value. It was just to slow things down, try to neutralize things, even out the momentum, and get on even talent tiers.
And honestly, Flame is lame kind of won that trade. They traded 2 heroics for none, so really good job there. But they're positioning up, looking for a fight down a talent. The hook lands onto Tyrael as so much damage comes in, and he goes down. Shot now also diving in. The hook was perfect, and Genji pops Dragon Blade on the backside of this fight, looking at Legend.
They went looking for trouble, and Firm Handshake were more than happy to offer it to him. And Nubrak is going to get rocked. 14 takedown. I mean, shot got blasted. I'm not going to mince words. There's no 2 ways about it. But again, they went looking for that. They asked for that. Firm Handshake were probably like,
okay.
If like you want.
Yeah, exactly. Even though Firm Handshake were down 2 heroics, they still want that fight, right?
Maybe a bit of nerves. I'm curious to know what the thinking was. They used a whole set of Web Weavers to slow the game down to try to get on even talent tiers, and then they YOLO dive in mid lane down a tier. I don't know. It didn't really work out for them, but 20 gems will get turned in for Lex Luthor. D-Steve's like, hey, I got 9 too. 13 there for Vestige, so caster math stipulates that's a perfect 60 for another Web Weaver.
So Firm Handshake, just get the turn in. They have mid completely available. Obviously, Molten Core is going to be up. So they basically just have to play around that, because this is the next team fight that Flame is Lame gets. This is the last one really in the game. So Flame is Lame needs to win a decisive team fight with this, because this is their 16 tier. And they are positioning like they're actually showing on the wave now. Interesting choices. But mid is going to push in and threaten a keep for Firm Handshake. So it depends on the speed at which Firm Handshake plays this to determine the value that they get out of these Web Weavers.
I think they made the decision to take that wave out too late. I think what they were trying to play is they traded vision for trying to stall the advance of that top lane. But by then, like, it was already going to be about the same distance anyway. The Cursed Bullet goes out on Shot's face. He's able to burrow out of there. Middle Web Weaver is going to get taken down before he can get that last blast off. These Steves and the crew start to back away. So far, this middle keep stands firm.
Yeah, it really does. And 20's getting close for Firm Handshake, so they don't really want to force anything too crazy, right? Like, bottom is pushing in heavily. Top is also doing a decent damage, and Molten Core now showing up in the mid lane.
There's the Molten Core, and the party is definitely over. Once that happened, you saw Firm Handshake. They're like, yeah, we probably should go now. So they back away. And why not? Level 20 is a hair's breadth away. Another huge advantage. 3 levels, Storm tier talents. Firm Handshake, they came in swinging, man. They were ready.
I agree. It's a little unfortunate that no keeps were able to be taken there for Firm Handshake with those web weavers, but honestly, it was super risky for them to do that. But now that they have level 20, they're pushing up with their bit of siege, and they're looking at this keep because that's exactly what they need in order to gain the pressure to now try to close out this game.
I mean, even if they don't press too aggressively for this, just posting up like this forces out a response from Flame is Lean. That's buying time for the other two lanes to push in on their own and just continue to apply pressure. Without another set of web weavers on the way, they have nothing but else to do than just sit here and throw their weight around.
So interesting talent choice at level 20 for the Karazim. Hold that thought. The judgment goes out onto Necromongers, but definitely not enough to secure the kill. And now the fight is swinging in Firm Handshake's favor.
Lex Luthor is low on health, though. Tyrael will be first to fall. Could he look to blow up on someone? Shot's going to get taken down. 2 heroes, the entire front line. Chromie doesn't want to see that. Ragnaros is going to get taken down as well. Bottom keep, at the very least, is in jeopardy. With those 3 heroes down, Kala, that could very well be game.
Yes, definitely Firm Handshake are positioning to end this game. But yeah, I was going to talk about the level 20 talent, but not really worth mentioning now because it is game over. I do like the talent in general, but a lot of people don't end up choosing that one as a Karazim player. But yeah, Firm Handshake pushing in for the win here. And I honestly think that they played such a fantastic game. They deserve it.
Trap Queen, I suck.
Trap Queen, I suck. Poor guy.
Feels bad, man.
So I think you and I will agree on this one. So just let me say it. I'm going to see if I can speak on behalf of you. The biggest issue with this draft was Ragnaros. What do you think?
I would agree. To a lesser extent, I would roll Chromie in there as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, why Chromie? I wanted to hear your opinion because I think Chromie is fantastic on that map.
Because it's high risk, high reward. When you load into the game and you're like, oh, wait, we need more lockdown, and you have to pivot into the judgment, you may not have secured enough lockdown, or you may not have enough confidence in the current amount of lockdown that you have to really warrant that selection. And you're going up against the Stitches. Like, Legend had to take that timeout talent. Like, they had to, because anytime Stitches landed a hook on Chromie, it was more or less curtains.
Okay, so same situation. Instead of 1-2ing Rhaegar Stitches, you 1-2 Malfurion Stitches. And now tell me that the Chromie was the wrong pick. Do you still think it's Chromie?
Wait, if Firm Handshake had Stitches Malfurion, Chromie would have for sure been the wrong pick, in my opinion.
Wait, sorry. Instead of a Nubarak with Rhaegar, if it was Stitches with Malfurion, and then they looked at the Chromie.
Oh, if they took the Call to the Carpet combination for their 1-2, like we've seen Shot Stitches is amazing.
Dirty, right? Yeah.
Right. So you throw in a Root from Dark Chimera after that, Legend is that's shooting fish in a barrel. That would have been definitely the way to go.
Okay, I even think I think Rhaegar was actually just the problem there in 1-2. They should have just Malfurion, Anubarak or Malfurion Stitches, because Anubarak can serve a similar purpose. If he lands the Impale, there's the Root to follow up, and then Chromie damage off of that, and then their early game is substantially stronger. But yeah, everything else just it seemed like they were just trying to force a team fight condition, like getting the stuns plus the follow up with Chromie damage and Sulfur Smash with the Judgment. Like it just seemed like they were just trying to force too much on that when they could have just picked a single hero like Malfurion that would allow all of that to happen instead of getting Sulfur Smash, Judgment in order to enable it. Like it just would have been a lot easier. But really good game.
Yeah, I feel like they just went with too much of a gadget composition.
Yeah.
I think they could have either gone with Chromie or Ragnaros, and then the other hero would have been a more standard selection. Those two heroes are kind of at odds with each other as far as innate value and synergy. True. They don't really do anything for each other. So you can't really do that against a team like Firm Handshake. I mean, they came off of last week, man. They were ready for this, to say the least.
No, for sure. But now we're going to Dragonshire, so things are going to be a lot different. In fact, have we watched a Dragonshire game this season?
I want to say we've seen one this season. I can't confirm, handshake, or deny that. But I'm getting the updating the thing. Firm Handshake goes up 1 in his best of 3. I gotta shrink the font a little bit.
I wanna throw a shout out to Necromongers that game too. There was times, when you're watching like highest level HGC play, if Stitches throws out a hook, the Malfurion root needs to be there regardless of whether or not it lands. You know how that's like the level that you have to play at, because if you don't, then the hook target's going to escape. So you have to have that level of synergy. We saw that with Cursed Bullet. So there was a time where Stitches threw out hook, it didn't even land, and the bullet was already showing up, and then they managed to kill shot with it. And it's just that level of trust that Firm Handshake has that you don't usually see in amateur teams. So shout outs to Necromongers for trusting his teammates.
Absolutely. I mean, those Cursed Bullets, we didn't talk about them too much during the game, but that was effectively like being caught with your pants down, because that 40% damage was a thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I laughed super hard that one time the shot got deleted. Dude. Like, that was not a fun time to be a beetle.
Shot looked like he had to reload the map. Like, it just looked like he was just going. But Flame is Lame wanted first pick, first ban, so they were like, we want to dictate these team fights on our terms and begin to set up our composition in a way we see best. So you go ahead and take the battleground. And Firm Handshake were like, okay. Yeah, they decided to take us over to the Shire.
So we got Flame is Lame on the first pick again.
Yeah.
What is the ban? The Haka this time. Really strong hero on this map, honestly. That doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Is it the Genji? Is it the Malthael ban? Or is it just Uther again? I don't think Firm Handshake, would ban Uther, because I just don't see Flame is Lame first picking it. But Firm Handshake won it in that 1-2, I assume. Yeah. So I'd expect them to either take away the mouth or the Genji, perhaps. But they love it themselves, so it's difficult to say.
Yeah, I would equally be surprised if Uther's was the first pick. Based on how that first game went, if I'm Flame is Lame, I want my damage dealer to be the priority as far as composition goes. I want to make sure I'm able to close out kills. I think they needed to go for a more steady damage dealer. Like I said, like I was a little concerned about the Chromie, because if those skill shots miss, her value goes into the dumpster. Yeah, I think they just need a hero. Not that they have any lack of ability to execute. I just think they need to go for a more stable source of damage.
I think that, okay. Flame is Lame.
We saw this a lot last week, though, from them.
Yep. They first picked the Tassadar, but not yet this week. So they're just bringing it back to the basics. They see, this is a fantastic map for Tassadar, too. You can have one in the top lane. You can have Tassadar just chill mid and then have a strong 3-lane bottom, and it's very difficult to do much against that. Just because Tassadar is such a strong solo laner, and so now if you're Firm Handshake, you are either just sticking with what you want to get out of this draft, which I'm assuming is Uther plus something, or you take away from Flame is Lame and you pick the Vala Ariel right now.
I think you definitely want to shore something up to that degree. I mean, for the 2-3, if you're on the side of Flame is Lame, what we saw from them last week was a lot of Tracer. Tassadar Tracer is a strong combination. Legend is no stranger to all that. But when you see the first pick Tassadar, you're on the side of Firm Handshake, you're like, all right, we already used our ban on Genji. A solid ban, a smart ban, but what tricks do they have up their sleeve? I think we're about to find out now.
A Noob Greymane, so Uther is still available. Malthael is also available, and he would be nigh unkillable in this composition. What do they go with? Because now a whole bunch of stuff's available for Flame is Lame. They've got the Tracer, they have the Vala, if they want to go with that. So a whole bunch available, but they want to pick it up before the ban phase, because then it really limits them after that.
They got 30 seconds to decide what the heck they want to do. I imagine we would see whoever they want to turn into a superhero out of the 1-2. With no supports either banned or taken, they may want to consider taking their support of choice now, but never trust a big button to smile. That girl is poison.
Nice meme. But Lunara Ariel, okay, so they decide to just strafe away from the Vala Ariel, as well as the Tracer, which they're actually quite used to, as we were talking about. They go with the Lunara, which is, doesn't Legend play the Lunara?
I believe so, and it was downright. I remember their Lunara play last week as a team was terrifying. I believe it was Legend on there.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
That's going to be a lot of spread damage, a lot of hope for Ariel. Along with Tassadar for added support. It's going to be quite the tough nut to crack. So Flame is Lame are like, You know, they were really able to secure those takedowns last game. We need to try to do something to shore that up. So I think this is the first time we've seen a really defensive posture taken out of the draft choices for Flame is Lane. Normally they try to go for their damage dealer, like their aggressive damage dealer. I feel Lunar is just a mid-step.
Perfect Stitches ban. So now that's going to leave Flame is Lame on a hero that we actually haven't seen Shot play yet. Actually, did we see him play the Diablo? That was the only other one I think we saw. We saw Nubrak, we saw Stitches and Diablo. But with Stitches off the table, that means he's going to be forced on a hero that he's probably not as comfortable with. But, you know, right. A player like Shot, he's played all types of heroes. So Uther now banned off, so Firm Handshake not on their favorite support. But, you know, Heyo plays everything. I would expect a Rhaegar, honestly, because of the amount of control that Rhaegar gives to the camps on the bottom side of the map. There's both of the easy camps for both teams are on the bottom side, as well as the neutral hard camp. So what I wanted to quickly mention, and I'm not sure what you think about this, but Flame is Lame, haven't they gone Lunara Malthael with Ariel Tassadar before, or was that another team we watched? It was like the double DOT comp. I called it like the rot comp.
I think you're right. I mean, either way, Malthael I think would be a really strong choice for Flame is Lame. Anytime you can put that hero in Deadly Ice's hands, you set yourself up for success. Yep. He also has a lot of spread damage that could serve as a hope generator.
Oh boy.
Firm Handshake understand this as well. They do take your Rhaegar as you theorized. And Malthael, I bet you Flame is Lame are like, man, they're just like, they have our number with these draft picks. Like, these are really sound responses.
Yes, they certainly are. So what is it now? What is it? Is it the Diablo that we've seen Shot play? What else would it be? Like, not Johanna, certainly. Not Muradin, would it?
Well, I mean, Shot is new to the tanking role, but like you said, he's one of the most talented players in the region. So in that, I feel like there are reasons for and against worrying about his hero pool in this situation. But you got to take a hero for Deadly Ice here. I'm looking at the other team. I would not be too upset with seeing a Thrall show up here.
Yep, Deadly Ice plays Thrall. He also is fantastic on the Zeratul. Zeratul doesn't fit as well into this composition, but we need a strong solo laner, so maybe he'll even play the Sonya up top.
I think I would. I think I'd go Joe Thrall.
Joe Thrall? Okay, I say Sonya Diablo. Okay, Joe Illidan. We were right on the warrior, wrong on the melee flex, but honestly, it's pretty much the same thing, Johanna and Illidan, except for Illidan now poses a little bit of global pressure as well. I wonder if we'll see him go on Unbound at level 4, so he can just like jump over top of the wall and secure the top shrine like we see Fnatic's Whoopi do all the time.
It very well could be a thing. I mean, Flame is Lame is a team that has HCC level aspirations. So why not take notes from teams that have climbed that proverbial mountain? I like the Johanna pick a lot because what we've seen so far is that outside of Malthael's overall trait damage, they're heavily reliant on auto attack. If you take some of the wind out of Greymane Sails at the right time, you're going to buy time for Ariel and Tassadar to just out-sustain anything they try to put together, and then Lunar has a field day. But Varian's going to be the frontliner of choice. Double warrior.
I like the Varian just because of Shattering Throw. I think it's going to do a lot of work into this composition. It's going to force Tassadar to really pick and choose who he's putting these shields onto. And honestly, against a Malthael and a Greymane, that's a scary situation to be in.
Yeah.
And no cleanse for Taunt.
Ooh, you are absolutely right, my friend. Yeah, Taunt's going to be an ordeal, to say the least, for Flame is Lame, because it's going to feel like an eternity, Kala. If you're a Tassadar and you're like, all right, I would really like to dimensional shift right now. I would like to leave.
Please and thank you.
Right, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I would really like to make my hasty departure, good sir. Or if Metamorphosis is the heroic choice, it's like, hey, man, I'd like to get out of here. Oh, wait, I'm Taunt. Oh, wait, I'm dead. We can see all of that. But this is game 2, potentially the last of the night. Flame is Lame want to have a thing or two to say about that. They are on the left. Shot is playing Johanna, Deadly Ice. He's manning Illidan. Legend will be on Lunar. Dark Chimera is playing Ariel. And Trap Queen will be throwing out shields on Tassadar.
And on the right in red is Firm Handshake. We got Lex Uther on the Nubrak. D. Steves playing the Greymane. Vestige playing Varian. Heyo on Rhaegar and Necromongers. Finishing the draft on Malthael.
It all comes down to this. Firm Handshake would love to rally back after last week and even things out against a very strong Flame is Lame team. Flame is Lame backs against the proverbial wall, but we've seen them pull off amazing things under pressure. So we could very well be seeing the beginnings of a game 3. Lex Luthor, Vestige hanging out mid. D-Steez joins in, shows themselves on the map. But more passive decisions have been made for Flame is Lame. They just went with the 1-1-3 out of the gate.
Illidan with the Battered Assault too. He is looking to duel. That is a bloodthirsty Deadly Ice. Combination comes out from the Anub'arak, but it just wasn't there. And I would also like to quickly talk about the talent from Heyo. He's going with the Wolf Run talent instead of Lightning Bond. So sacrificing a lot of wave clear for that speed, that mobility between middle and top, and perhaps even looking to rotate top with that talent.
Yeah, conceptually, it helps him make those rotations, obviously. It helps him with some escape, gives him some more mobility, because they could very well be dealing with a hunt at level 10 from Illidan. So, you know, a hair sooner, Heyo can get in the range for an Ancestral Healing. That could be the difference maker between this being the last game of the night or not. So I definitely think there are merits to that talent choice.
Lex Luthor seeing the overstep from Flame is Lame, but Trap Queen is there to deny any sort of rotation from the Anub'arak, and also the Wisp there, getting some value from the Lunara.
Deadly Ice can help themselves at this top shrine. Necromongers has a thing or two to say about that. The Malthael Illidan 1v1 matchup. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Evasion is going to be critically important. Deadly Ice just has to apply pressure to Necromongers, because otherwise he's going to find his health bar getting melted.
Yep, level 4 should change things up a little bit. Actually, no, level 7 for the Illidan. But at this point, it looks like Malthael is doing a pretty darn good job here in the solo.
Pretty darn good indeed. Team is striking the bottom portion of the map. There's the burrow. There's the follow-up damage. Dimension Shift's going to help Trap Queen get out of there. That was a brow-raising moment for sure. Dark Chimera is going to be able to get out of there. Gets the shield from Trap Queen. There's Gilnean Cocktail for the added spice. No takedowns.
Oh, the Gilnean Cocktail actually just traded out 2 tower shots and a auto NQ from Lunara, but the Lex Luthor is not done yet. The Dimensional Shift is not available, but no damage to follow up. D-Steve's massively chunked out, and now Lunara. Like, look at that rolling poison damage.
That coordination from Lex Luthor and Vestige, though, they both charged in at the exact same time. I thought that was going to be first blood, but Flame is Lame. Sound response from them. At the moment, they actually control both of the shrines, so that's going to force out a response of some sort. Shots rotating down mid. Deadly Ice is going to make sure this top shrine stays exactly blue. Necromonger's clearing out the lane. 3 members of Flame is Lame going to pick up the siege camp. If we're going to have this stalemate as the bottom shrine gets claimed, may as well try to set up some siege pressure.
Look at the little level 4 Illidan talent. Ooh, it's your boy. So I told you, man. Like, these teams are paying attention, to teams that compete on the international level. Like, that is a very niche talent pick, and they chose it for this specific reason. So I'm absolutely loving it. It was indicative that they were going to go that talent when you saw the level 1 of Battered Assault, but even more so, I like it. Good choice by Heyo. Deadly Ice.
You make a really good point, though. I mean, oh, hang on. Legend gets isolated. A lot of damage goes on to him. Ariel, Trap Queen doing everything they can. Dark Chimera can only stand idly by and watch the first takedown happen. Dark Chimera on the retreat. Do you have Dimensional Shift, Trap Queen? You do. So you're able to get out of there, but Lex Luthor is going to pick up the bottom shrine. And the 2 supports would be a little cheeky to go in there and try to interrupt all that.
And I really like that Firm Handshake is doing this. Honestly, Flame is Lame are stepping up much too far when they are showing Johanna constantly going top lane to help out the Illidan, because at this point, Illidan is losing this solo lane to Malthael. Having Johanna rotate like that and show on the wave means that Firm Handshake can take a fight bottom, because they know they have numbers advantage, and they're doing just that. Instead, the Detainment Strike does land on the Lex Luthor. He's trying to hold this cap as long as they can, and they do take the Dragon Knight mid. First Dragon Knight going over to Firm Handshake.
Nice sustained job in the bottom lane there for sure. Paves the way for the first Dragon Knight of the game to get picked up. 4 and some change in, though. So it's not going to be the the unstoppable juggernaut it will be later on. But when you're this evenly matched against your opponent, every advantage you can help yourself to, Kala, why not?
Exactly. Now, considering this top lane, I think it might be a little bit easier for the Illidan into the Malthael. But it looks like this Malthael is doing such a fantastic job, let me say. Dragon Knight rotating top, looking to maybe take out some of the structures there. Deadly Eye's actually getting targeted out, but the evasion is enough to save him for the time being.
I feel like Deadly Ice is probably a little jelly right now. You know he wanted to play Malthael this game, but it was pretty much snatched away from him. Now he's on the receiving end of everything that hero can do. Down in the bottom lane, the long-range bro from downtown is going to set up the second takedown of the game. Dark Chimera waits to respawn.
And again, that's 2 showing top lane, even though it's completely even bottom. Like, if you don't have your warrior like that, that just like lets the Varian charge in for free, and the follow-up damage from the Lex Luthor actually getting massively chunked out. D-Steves is looking for more, but I don't think you'll find it. But yeah, that it allows both the warriors to just dive in pretty much for free.
I feel like Flame is Lame have to make a change in strategy, and it may almost already be too late. I think they need to have Trap Queen up top and just soak the lane, mind their business, and not die. That'll allow Shot to make more of a presence in his mid lane, because he's just been kind of playing janitorial duty. His rotations between top and mid lane are exactly like you said. It's allowing Vestige, it's allowing a Nubrek to jump in here and get on his back line, who is without any sort of support from the tank.
This is scary. Vestige goes into the dive. D-Steves is there with the Bork damage from the Greymane, and now the taunt comes out because level 10s are available now. Dark Chimera caught out, and he dies. And now Cocoon.
Yeah, Lex Luthor, Heyo, and D-Steves, they're just hanging around like, yeah, we really want to have this conversation.
That rotation from Firm Handshake was so fantastic. They had the vision, and that was actually just like a 1v3 cocktail, and it got Legend down so low because he was already low to begin with. The rest of Firm Handshake show up, the level 10s are there, and they win a fight because of it, and now they have bruisers as well, so huge loss from Flame is Lame, and now Firm Handshake are looking at the fort.
I think we're starting to see Flame is Lame flounder for the first time, or really struggle with what their next decision should be. And this is not the team we're used to seeing in that capacity. I think it was something of a high-risk gamble to go for that bruiser camp down in the bot lane, with Heroic so close to being on the board. And there's the hunt off the top rope. Deadly Ice looking to get involved. There's the shield wall proc to sustain Vestige for the moment. Deadly Ice on the chase, on the case. There's the condemn. Ancestral Healing will reset the health bar. D-Steve's going to casually saunter out. Or will they? Deadly Ice
look at the backside, though.
About that, but here comes the flank.
Here comes Malthael. His Heroic is available, and he does drop the Tormented Souls. Now, huge damage going on in the backline of this fight. Deadly Ice does get caught up in some C, and it looks like, or some CC, and he is going down as well. D-Steve's looking for more.
Necromongers came in like a wrecking ball on the back line, but ultimately Greymane is going to get taken down. Overstays his welcome a little bit. Bear in mind, I mean, Flame is Lame are not the team you want to just overstay on and get too cheeky with. Exhibit A there. There's the charge, there's the taunt. Trap Queen does have dimensional shift. Legend on the flank with the Burger King crown. Gets one leaping strike, jumps over. Vestige. Lex Luthor could potentially box Legend out. He starts to walk back. There's a shield wall proc. Another. The Taming Strike is going to miss. No takedowns.
And now Firm Handshake do press up a little bit too far here. The hunt is back up, and Illidan is on the map, so they have to be careful of that. And honestly, the fact that that fight went 1-for-1, when I would say the hunt went onto the wrong target, it went out onto the Varian. I think it should be always going out onto either the Greymane or the Rehgar, because it can either A, be cleansed, or like B, Varian can just simply W it and negate all of the damage. So the fact that that went even and the hunt went onto arguably the wrong target, that bodes really well for Flame.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's another hunt. Free access to the bottom lane again on the Varian. I'm pretty sure that leaping strike was negated by shield wall. There's the taunt. Legend actually eating tower shots potentially before starting to back away. Shot rotates down again, hits the condemn. And I think this is another instance where we just see the front line for Flame is Lame a little late to the party.
Yep. Again, like the hunt needs to go onto a different target. Sorry. And now Deadly Ice is caught out. The CC is there, and same with the follow-up damage from Necromongers. And D-Steves, just really good rotation from Firm Handshake to find the Illidan.
Feel the hatred of 10th. Oh, wait. Illidan gets isolated. Level 13, the second Dragon Knight of the game. Tier advantage. Everything's coming up Millhouse for old Firm Handshake. They're going to look to take the first fort of the game, and they have the bottom one waiting for them as well, low on health.
Oh, that
so
cocktail.
This could definitely get out of hand.
Yeah, the cocktail splash damage is so strong right now. Look at it just doing crazy damage to the back line of Flame is Lame. Firm Handshake are positioning up. They have the 13s. The hunt comes out. The cleanse is there onto D-Steves, but it was the right target for sure. Deadly Ice on the backside of this fight trying to get some damage going.
Legend as well, leaping strikes to safety. There's the taunt. There's the instant deletion of Illidan. Take your hands off the keyboard. You don't need the press buttons anymore at this point. Necromongers is going to get knocked out of the Dragon Knight. Shield wall sustains Vestige. Necromongers throws out the little wave. Says goodbye.
And honestly, I would say Necromongers was the hero of that team fight. He punted away the Tassadar, and Illidan was so deep into the team fight that he wasn't anywhere near to get a shield, and he paid dearly for it.
I think what we're seeing here, Kala, is an instance where Flame is Lame had a lot of the key picks that I believe they were looking to take stolen away from them.
Yep.
And their backup alternatives are not having the same amount of success as they would have had otherwise. Don't want to use the word outdrafted, but...
Wait, yeah, you do, because I love how close you and I think about this game, because earlier on, during the laning phase, I was like, I need to talk to Haloran after this about potential outdrafting, because I think that's actually the biggest case here. So the fact that you even just brought that up beforehand just makes me smile, because we're very similar about this sort of stuff. I love it.
Hey, man. I podcast with you. I think we're always on the same page. I mean, Trap Queen's going to try to stop this bottom lane push, but that bottom fort is not going.
No, not right now.
I mean, it's going to get sneezed on at some point. There's the Blessed Shield, Captain America. There's the Cleanse, also negating the hunt. Perfect timing from Heyo. They are committing heavily to this kill on D Steves, but Heyo again with the foil. Perfect play from Heyo.
Yeah, and this is a 4v5 situation too, and they managed to just completely de-push that fight. And now topside is going to be pushing in for Firm Handshake. Meanwhile, bottom is too. So seriously, these Ancestrals, these cleanses, like every bit of this team cohesion from Firm Handshake has just been on point.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been impressive to watch. Like, that was some of the cleanest Rhaegar play you'll see at any level of Heroes of the Storm. HGC on down, I submit to you. I mean, that cleanse, that ancestral healing broke the back of everything Flame is Lame were trying to do there. They desperately wanted that takedown on Greymane, fully denied by Heyo.
Completely agree. And you can't even hunt Heyo either. Look where he's positioning all the time. He's in the creep wave on the fort, even though they're about to hit 16. Like, he's playing so safely, and rightfully so. So, like, really good job by this Rhaegar.
Intelligent is how I would describe his positioning. A Nubrak on the flank looking for the right opportunity. Lex Luthor does get spotted by Legend. Venturing far away from home with the Burger King crown. That could be a potential issue down bottom. Deadly Ice does have the hunt for the free access pass downstairs. But with level 16 around the corner, this is going to be rough for Flame's Link.
Firm Handshake's minion wave top, not quite enough to take the fort. It just has a sliver of health left, but the channel for the Dragon Knight is coming in. Necromongers actually manages to get stalled out by shot there.
The follow-up, is it going to be enough? Dark Chimera is able to age themselves, and the damage is not going to be there to net the 9th takedown to only 1. They do manage to stave that off. Best as UCs rotate down. Illidan hanging out. Does he dare?
He does. He definitely does. He's got the Unbound. He can escape fairly easily. But Heyo actually getting caught out with... Okay, they're perfect. Okay, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to find the Rhaegar, like I was saying earlier, and they have to hunt him just like that. Because no cleanses can follow up. There's really no abilities that Firm Handshake have to kind of, you know, stop that sort of initiation from happening, and that's actually really rare considering how we were talking about how great Rhaegar has been positioning all game. He got caught out a little bit in the delta there, and he paid for it.
Absolutely. Oh, there's the taunt though. D Steves actually is gonna get the takedown. Crystal Age is 3 seconds away, a lifetime if you're a Legend in that situation. There's Cocoon. The sound response is absolutely here from Firm Handshake. D Steves low on health on Rhaegar. Shot trying to push that threat away. Trap Queen hits the Archon, but
the hunt from mid lane onto the background
surprise,
security kill. Now Illidan, now Illidan is just chasing in, getting more kills. Now Necromongers looks like he's going down. The protect is there, but is it enough? The second one comes in. Shot looking for more kills. The taunt comes out onto Illidan, and here comes Rhaegar. He has the Ancestral available, and it goes out, and it saves Varian in the nick of time. So it is only the 2 kills that go over to Flame is Lame.
Shield wall buying time. I mean, they are absolutely back in the game. Losing Legend there was devastating to their chances to really establish a foothold and potentially even take the Dragon Knight. But finding that takedown on Rhaegar was absolutely huge. I like the snap decision making on their part. You know, they've been in a defensive posture all game. They find Rhaegar out of position for a split second. They jump on his face the hard way. Got them back in this game.
And now Flame is Lame know this win condition. They're like, okay, this is how we killed Rhaegar in the past. This is how we're going to kill Rhaegar in the future. Rhaegar knows this as well, so he's going to be playing even probably more safely than beforehand, which is perfectly fine. You know, if those hunts come in onto the Varian, he's not going to die through all those shield walls.
Level 16 is now here. Starwood Spear, the talent of choice for Lunara. Added range will definitely give Legends some safer positioning and ability to do damage. Curious to see what kind of value they get out of that. One shrine a piece for both of these teams. There's the taunt. There's the burst damage. Dimensional Shift is going to get there in time. Necromongers rotates in. Good amount of shots left. Oh, or spoke too soon. Gilnean Cocktail takes down the tower.
I actually like what Firm Handshake are doing here. They are obviously losing on the map because of the global pressure that's kicking in with Illidan. We see the top lane being pushed in, so they're like, screw it. We're going to remove your global from the game and force him down to fight us. So they're pushing in this bottom lane with that camp to try to get as much pressure as they can, but they don't even manage to get the wall for it. So not quite there. Meanwhile, top lane, Illidan pushed in the wall. He's getting the fountain, and he's looking at the fort to try to get his team as close as they can to 20.
Every ounce of free soak that he can get, the better for the members of Flame is Lame. You're exactly right. They got to get to level 20. They're down, about a half a level. They've caught up in a lot of regards, in large part thanks to that push from Illidan. The top fort could be another burst of experience as well later on. Both shrines are picked up. Could we see a play for it? Lex Luthor's already there looking to play goalie. Malthael's going to take the top shrine, though. Bottom fort will get cleaned.
Yep, Flame is Lane pushing the bottom, like you said, to pick up the fort. Now both these teams have their eyes set on 20. This map oftentimes does go to that point, but that pick on Rhaegar is really snowballing into quite the advantage for Flame is Lame.
Something huge to consider here. Blessed Shield was just using it, did not connect. That's a huge engagement tool, not available for the members of Flame is Lame. I think that's a large part of why we're seeing this aggressive play from Firm Handshake. To go in, there's the taunt shot at half health. Archon goes out. Aegis is going to save shot for the moment. The follow-up health is going to be there. There's the shield. Dark Chimera, good amount of hope left. Spreads it out effectively on the team. No takedowns.
Oh, so unfortunate that no takedowns were available. But Firm Handshake now has the positioning available to try to secure this Dragon Knight. Oh, the hunt comes out from Deadly Ice, but he's not pushing or capping top. Unbound is there, though. He can just jump right over the wall and grab that.
Every second counts, though. There is the interrupt from Shot. It might end up costing Shot his face, however. I don't think he has Iron Skin. There's the shield from Trap Queen. Ariel not in position. Gets taken down. The slightest decisions, Colin.
Yeah, he actually didn't need to be there. He didn't need to be there because Illidan was on top already, capping it. And I'm pretty sure he would have 50%ed it before Firm Handshake got the channel.
I don't know. I think if Deadly Ice went straight for the top shrine, Shot would have never had to be there. But since Deadly Ice first went to try to clear out that wave and save the top fort, I'm pretty sure that inspired a conversation like, oh, we need to interrupt because I don't think Deadly Ice can get there in time. Shot steps forward, gets taken down, avalanche. Because
he hunted, then auto queued, and then realized he had to go top. So I think you're absolutely right on that one. Meanwhile, Dragon Knight was picked up by Firm Handshake. They do now have level 20 Halorn, and they have their eyes set on this keep. And if they're able to force any sort of fights and get picks, they can even get game off this.
Absolutely. A takedown, too, that could definitely spell the end here. To go through the small wall, effective lights out play from Firm Handshake. They're going to get this bottom keep at the very least. They're looking for more. They have level 20. So close to level 20 are the members of Flame is Lame. But actually, no, they back away. They play it smart. They play it safe. A little bit of conservative mind. There you go.
They just want this middle wall, I think, off of this then. Lex Luthor definitely doesn't have the health pool to secure the middle wall, but maybe with some additional damage here from Firm Handshake, they'll be able to take everything out, and it looks like that's what they're getting.
There's a taunt, though. Varian jumps in. Vestige. Deadly Ice shows up, makes their appearance. There's the heroic from Malthael. Melting health bars. Deadly Ice is going to be first to fall. There's the taunt. Props the indestructible. Dark Chimera gets the shield from Trap Queen. There's the ancestral healing. Well timed again. Shot's going to go down to follow-up damage from Necromongers' Malthael with 4 heroes. This is absolutely the game.
And that's game. That's 100% game. Wow. Necromongers gained so much value there. Again, with his Tormented Souls. Really, really good play. And just like, let's talk about those Ancestrals. Like, perfect all game. Heyo stepped into one bad position that entire game. And yeah, they lost a lot off of it, but the fact that he just played like a monster, I think was like, he was the determining factor of that game for sure for me. Like, that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say like, supports can't really make plays. They don't have too much of an impact. They just shore up health bars.
Yeah.
Heyo put on a clinic that game.
Yeah.
Very impressive all the way through on the sides of both teams. Firm Handshake. Convincing fashion they take this week's Heroes Type Temple Storm series. Kyle, I think the story there was, again, I don't want to use the word outdrafted, but I feel like the frame of mind that Flame is Lame were in, they went for heavy burst damage in Chromie game 1. Didn't work out for them. And then they went heavy sustain in game 2, I feel like they overcompensated. I think if they had more burst damage, I don't know if Illidan was the choice. Again, I feel like if that was Thrall, if they had Sundering and Thrall's burst damage, it could be a different story.
Definitely could have been. I think Thrall would have been pretty good there. I personally liked the Illidan, but it just felt like Flame Lane were just pushing up way too far when they had like Johanna show top in a 2v1 situation. Like there's times straight up where shot because Illidan was losing the 1v1, like they had to send up Johanna to try to like help with the situation. Yeah. Well, they didn't have to, but they felt like they had to. And then their bottom lane was also just pushed up so far, and then they just got engaged on and lost those fights because Firm Handshake had the information that, you know, 2 were showing top. So why not force a 4v3 bottom, right?
Absolutely.
But, you know, you won't go as far as to say outdrafted. I actually do think that's pretty much what happened that last game. I think that the early game picks from Flame is Lame showed that they wanted certain heroes, and Firm Handshake were like, sure, we'll just pick them then. Like, what are you going to be left with? Like, you know, Shot is a fantastic player, but seeing him play the Johanna felt like he was a little bit out of his comfort. Usually he's on those like hard initiation heroes, right? You know, we see him on the Stitches, we see him on the Diablo, like we see him on the Anubarak, but he didn't have it that game. And yeah, it just felt a little bit unfortunate for Flame is Lame. But, you know, they're the team to bounce back for sure. So we'll see them next week, just as strong or stronger.
This will be 8 points for Firm Handshake. That will catapult them further ahead to 19 points. Second place for Flame is Lame will take them up to 14. So I definitely think we could see these guys back again next week in the finals if they play to the caliber we've come to see. But yeah, I really agree with what you had to say specifically about the Johanna. I think not only did Johanna feel a little uncomfortable for Shot, but I feel like Malthael was winning that top lane so hard that it forced Johanna to rotate up there, no matter what warrior that was. Yeah. The moment the warrior rotates from mid-top, like, bottom lane has a field day. Yeah. It doesn't matter what warrior that really is. I kind of mentioned it during the game, but I think the situation should have been, it's like, hey, I'm struggling up here in the top lane on Illidan. I'm not able to just sustain against this kind of damage. Send Tassadar up there. And then involve Illidan more in the team fights between 1 to 10 and mid and bot. That allows Shot to have more of a presence, because every time we saw takedowns in the bottom lane, it was like Shot was in the top lane trying to like save top. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. I actually didn't expect Malthael to do so well in the solo against an Illidan. Maybe Illidan was just trying to fight too much. Who knows? But it looked like he was just getting so heavily out-traded, and it actually looked like Deadly Ice wasn't as familiar with that matchup either, because you saw him kind of like learning about the lane as it went on, right? He was trading super heavily early, and then you saw him like back off, and he's like, whoa, I actually can't win this. Like, what? I can't do that at all. And then he just fell behind from it, and so that was a little bit unfortunate, but
the
really good plays.
The Illidan was a hard gamble, because I feel like he wasn't necessarily aggressive enough, because Illidan's sustain is attacking.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you're standing there like trying to dance around Malthael every second you're not attacking, you're just losing a percentage of your maximum health bar.
True.
So I again would echo switching out Tassadar with Illidan, because it's like if Deadly Ice went full ham on Malthael and he was like, oh, I'm getting out traded here, that lane's gone. Like,
yeah,
he can't sustain. So I don't know.
And Tassadar would have just been able to just channel the beam the entire fight, which is what he wants early anyways, to stack up his auto attack talent, right? So that actually would have been pretty good. You know, Illidan doesn't usually do the best in 4-man, but I think considering those circumstances, I think it actually would have worked out pretty well.
I think it would have worked out better than I mean, again, just my opinion. I'm just some guy looking at the game. I just feel like they would have done better to switch them out. But we have heard from our good old fashioned Argy.
Here, yeah.
We will be interviewing our agreed upon MVP of the game, Heyo.
Oh, and it's the dude.
It is the dude.
How's it going, guys?
Heyo, it's going great, man. I know you have to feel really good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. That was a really fun night. A lot of great games. Always good playing Flame is Lame, especially in the finals again.
I got a couple of questions for you, specifically related to Flame is Lame. Now, you guys had an incredible best of 3 against them last week. Did you come in tonight like looking to see them in the finals again? Were you like just eager to have another shot at them?
I mean, absolutely. We love playing them the most. They definitely kind of match us in our style. We like to play a little more team fight oriented, so we're definitely happy to brawl with them, and they definitely like to kind of draft similar to us. So always ends up being pretty close games overall.
It's so funny that you said that. I said that when we were going to draft. I was like, these teams both play very similarly, and they have similar hero pools, and they draft the same. So I actually think some of these games will go down to like out drafting one another, and that's pretty much what we saw. So good point.
Another question I have for you. Malthael in the top lane against Illidan. It seemed like it was a dominant situation for you guys from beginning to end. When you saw Johanna rotate up towards top, was that the green light for you guys to be aggressive in other parts of the battleground?
I mean, for us, we pretty much knew that Malthael was going to win that lane regardless. There were times when Johanna would rotate in between, but honestly, we just kind of trust each other to handle the solo lane when we're up there. Bot lane, we were kind of expecting a little more aggression, but we were happy to kind of stay even throughout. Just a few times where we got picked. There's one time where I was kind of walking in mid. Whoops there. But I think overall, everyone was just playing. Our comms were pretty awesome tonight, so just worked out pretty well.
Nice. I had a quick question about your Rehgar talent choice on that map. So, a lot of the times you do see Lightning Bond for Rehgar. Did you choose the Wolf Run just because it was on Dragonshire, or did you choose it because it was both on Dragonshire and you wanted to rotate mid and mid and bottom fast, and because you had Greymane to deal with camps with you? Like, what was your reasoning for choosing?
Wolf Run is OP. I mean, pretty much just being able to keep up with my team when they're going in aggressive, especially when D Steves is on Genji. I just want to have the speed to keep up. Lightning Bond is great if you are kind of in a solo situation, let's say in Hero League, where you need to do a camp pretty quick.
Yeah.
But in a competitive setting, I tend to just go with Wolf Run and keep up with the high pace that we like to run.
Right on. You see it a lot in Korea, stuff like that. So yeah, I was just wondering. I liked the choice personally. So
now we've seen you guys here a number of times in Heroes Hype. You guys have names that we all recognize. To those who are here for the first time or maybe getting their first chance at seeing you guys in action, you want to give us a little bit of background on how long you guys have been together, what your aspirations are?
Yeah, so the whole team has been around for quite a while. They started off in the original Heroes Hype Tempo Storm. They were playing with Kobe, who's actually now the manager. I came in when he decided to take a step back about 3-4 weeks ago. Just now we've started ramping up practicing pretty heavy with HGC Open in the mix of things.
Nice.
But I think this team has been around as a core stack for quite a while. They were previously with Miasma too, so I definitely think there's a lot of synergy that has already built up before I was able to join. So I kind of snuck in, and it seems to be working pretty well so far for us.
I would say so. You guys keep at this pace. You guys right now sit at the top of the ladder. For Heroes Type Tempo Storm Series 2, you keep showing up like that, you're going to have a pretty good time. Any other shout-outs or anything you want to throw out before we let you go?
Yeah, just shout out to my team putting in the work day in, day out. We started ramping up our scrims just with HGC. So definitely props to everyone. Kicked butt tonight. Otherwise, shout out to you casters. You guys were awesome again. And solo plug, but I just started streaming a few weeks ago, but you can check me out on Heyo DJ. Like to give a little more tips and recommendations towards the support heroes. There's definitely a lot of assassin streamers out there, so just trying to throw in a mix of things.
I also suggest your stream to anybody who's watching this one. So yeah, Heyo definitely is fantastic. He interacts with his chat a lot, and he's a great player. So
congratulations!
Otherwise, just thanks for everyone. Oh, sorry.
No, congratulations again. Kyle and I agreed you were definitely personally an MVP of game 2. So again, job well done there. Can't wait to see you again next week. But until then, man, you have a great night. Enjoy that victory.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks.
See you, man.
Take it easy. Well, I had hoped we would see those two teams in action again. Neither one disappointed. We have the beginnings of a great rivalry between both of these teams. we might very well see the three-peat next week. Stranger Things is bad.
I would love to see it personally, and yeah, I'm really stoked that they pulled out the win. They definitely deserved it. I thought their drafting was really on point this game or this series, and I felt like they read their opponents really well too, and that's that's something that's not easily said about teams. So really great job to Firm Handshake, and yeah, I can't wait to see them again.
Yeah. For now though, if you have not yet donated $1 for free to the prize pool, you can go ahead. Match Reno link will be in the chat. The code is HHTempo2. You'll be able to add $1 to the prize pool and consider donating. I mean, these teams put on some of the best action you'll see. I mean, they see the HGC. They see these professional teams show up. They reshape and define the meta, and they bring it here, and then they refine it even further. We saw some really interesting oddball comps, some new and interesting things showing up on that front, to say the very least. So consider showing some thanks. There's some really cool things. There's a coaching session still available with the Kitsune of Heroes himself. That man Kala right there. A couple of play sessions with a known streamer, Unileska, one of the coolest people in the Heroes community.
Good friend.
Yeah, she's really cool. And yeah, I would just say consider showing some support for the teams. All the prize pool goes to them. Special shout out to the admins and those working behind the scenes for Heroes Hype. You guys work tirelessly to put on an incredible show. I mean, Kyle and I just get to show up and press buttons and have fun. But,
it's so true.
They're the workhorses. They really make the magic happen. So I don't even want to name everyone. Everyone. Thanks to you guys for watching, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But and also thanks to you, Kyle. I always have fun casting with you, man.
Dude, man, thank you for being such a fantastic host, and of course, all of the viewers and members at Heroes Hype for viewing and all of your hard work. So you make this possible for us, and you also make it possible for the amateur teams to have something to work towards. So thank you guys all very much. Seriously, this is really sweet.
Yeah, but for now, I do believe we're gonna call it a night. But don't go anywhere, because Kyle, you're gonna be streaming after this, right?
Yes, I will. I can't play for too long, but I'm definitely going to be streaming a little bit and talking to everybody and hanging out. So yeah, come hang out with me after. Like you said, they're going to be hosting me. So yeah. I'll see you guys there.
Plenty to talk about. So many different interesting compositions. Who better to encourage and continue the discussion with but the Fox of Hots himself. But for now, we're going to call it a night. Thank you so much for showing up. Next Wednesday, 9 Eastern. Tell your friends. I mean, like, these games are insane. Hope to see you there. Tell your friends about it. But for now, you guys have a great night.